At the Tessar orphanage, a voice rings out, "Come on, introduce yourself." A very lovely little girl is standing timidly, and the person next to her introduces her instead. "From today, this child will be living with you." Diana shyly greets them, "Hello, I am Dana. I hope you will help me in the future." Another brown-haired girl stands in a corner, attentively watching Diana. She is lost in speculation, her blue eyes sparkling beautifully, along with her radiant silver hair. The brown-haired girl affirms, "No doubt about it, this child is Duke Elad's youngest princess." Diana. He panics, "Am I dreaming?" After accepting Duke Elad's death, Diana returns to the day she entered the Tessar orphanage. What kind of joke is fate playing? One day before, at the headquarters of the Terentium Information Guild, a voice rings out, "What brings you to my office today?" A person standing with their hands on their hips replies, "Today is the day the master promised to give me a mission." With her other hand, she points at herself and says loudly, "Haven't you forgotten? I am Ria, Terentium's top agent." The man smiles wryly. "Has it already been that day?" Ria says unhappily loudly, "Master." She is extremely dissatisfied among the top agents. "I am the only one who has not received a proper mission for over a week. Don't underestimate my abilities too much." The man chuckles, "A proper mission, huh? Don't worry, Ria, I have not forgotten. Moreover, this time it is a very big mission." This makes Ria surprised, her pupils dilating. He points at Ria and continues, "Tomorrow, due to scheduling, I will be temporarily absent. Complete the mission I gave to Jade before I return. Can you do it?" Ria happily takes on the task. "Just leave it to me." In another room, Ria's voice rings out again. "Where is it, the Duke Elad family?" She excitedly slams her hand on the table and stands up. "Did the master really assign me the mission of infiltrating the Duke Elad family?" Jade, holding a glass of water, leisurely replies, "That is right. Do I live only to deceive people or something? With your skills, he should assign you a task of that level." Ria is slightly doubtful. "Oh my, you usually only mock me, why are you praising me now?" Jade defends. "Everyone knows you are very skilled. It is just that we are jealous of you being favored by the master, so we refuse to admit it." Hearing this, Ria asks in surprise, "Favored?" Ria lists the missions she has received: finding handkerchiefs for villagers, then finding homes for lost children. The more she talks, the angrier she gets. She gets close to Jade's face and points at him. "He only gives me missions like that every day. What is so favoring about it?" Jade has nowhere to retreat. "Oh my, just forget it." Suddenly, he remembers something and asks her, "But Ria, did not you say you had an acquaintance in the Duke Elad family?" Ria hesitates slightly. When did I say that?" Jade starts to recall the memory for Ria. "Don't you remember that day you just turned an adult and drank alcohol for the first time? Then you said something about being at the orphanage when you were young, right?" Ria only manages a forced smile and puts her hand on his shoulder. "If I was drunk, then I might have been talking nonsense. How could I have a connection with such a wonderful noble?" Ria changes the subject to sneak away. "Oh no, is it already this late? I have to go out on a mission tomorrow, so I'm going to bed first." She says goodbye to Jade. "Goodbye, Jade, enjoy your meal." Jade is stunned and quickly calls her, "Ria, wait." Ria has already left, and Jade still stands there silently, watching her back. Suddenly, he flashes a wicked smile. Ria remembers the Duke Elad, the man known as the Sword of the Lakshatan Empire. As Jade has heard, I have an indelible connection with the Duke Elad family. Even though 10 years have passed, I still remember it vividly. That sharp, knife-like gaze, and a decision without the slightest leniency. Course. Ria observes from a tree and continues her train of thought. The emotions from back then won't affect today's mission. She remembers the man's instructions. Thoroughly check who the visitors to the target's residence are, and what they are discussing. Ria observes and calculates. I predicted that a high-profile figure would come, but it is really suspicious. The Duke's family's knights are all gathered, but the atmosphere is so quiet that it is hard to believe a guest is coming. Ria wonders, what kind of secrets are they planning to discuss? An extremely luxurious carriage slowly enters. Is that the carriage, the guest? A voice rings out, inviting the people in black cloaks, "Please come in." That is Duke Elad's voice. "I have been waiting for you." Seeing this, Ria is surprised. Duke Elad is personally greeting them, not a servant. Seems like it is not an ordinary guest. I will follow them right away and see what is up. Just as Ria turns to leave, a sword is placed against her neck. The young man in royal military uniform asks, "Who are you?" He says coldly, "If you do not reveal your identity, you will die." He is the eldest son of the Duke Elad family, Lucio Elad. A name unconsciously comes to her mind, Lucio. Right now, I really do not want to meet you at all. But according to the information Jade clearly conveyed, Lucio left the Duke's residence today. That guy, so he deliberately gave me false information. Lucio interrupts her train of thought. You should obediently surrender and reveal who ordered you. Then I will spare your life. Ria forcefully deflects the sword, surprising Lucio. He confirms, so that is your answer, huh? Then I won't hold back either. Lucio slashes off Ria's face covering, revealing her face. Lucio exclaims in surprise, What am? Ria panics and quickly covers her face. Could he recognize me already? No, there is no way he would still remember me after 10 years. 10 years just to remember an ordinary brown-haired girl. She bites her lip, because I do not want you to see this side of me. Lucio shouts towards Ria, wait. He tries to reach out and pull her back, please stop. Don't run. Before he can finish speaking, a sword pierces Ria's chest. Lucio's blue eyes lifelessly watch the scene before him. Ria is also surprised. She falls into Lucio's arms. The soldiers in the manor run up one after another. We caught the intruder, tie her up. Ria thinks to herself, her mouth full of syrup. Oh no, I was careless. Lucio can only shout her name there, Ria. Ria feels happy. The fact that Lucio called my name has become a reality, right in the last moment of my life. Lucio pleads hopelessly, no Ria, please wake up. Ria's hand loosens and falls, signaling the complete end of her life. She thinks to herself, but did I ever tell you my name? Lucio shouts her name, Ria. At this moment, the image and voice of that man reappear. Do you think doing this will make others acknowledge you? I can never be a good person to you, so no matter what anyone says, do not misunderstand. Remember, Ria, never trust me. Sweat runs down her small face. Ria is surprised. What? I am still alive. She looks at her hand. I was clearly stabbed straight through the heart. But why do not I feel any pain? What is going on? Ria discovers something is wrong, and her face turns pale. Ria looks around. Wait, a lie. The old bed and the torn curtains. The familiar orphanage scenery that I was sick of seeing when I was young. And if the image in the mirror is not a hallucination. A voice calls her name, startling her, Ria. Ria is drawn away from her thoughts. What is wrong? Emily asks Ria caringly. Are you sick? You were eating but just spaced out. Aren't you eating bread? Ria raises the plate of bread and gives it to Emily. I am not very hungry today, so Emily, can you eat it for me? Emily is happy. Really, can I really eat it? The little girl politely thanks her. Thank you, Ria. Ria continues to think. The feeling of each drop of blood flowing on my body is still clear. Yet I have returned to the past as if I had a dream, and am living a normal daily life calmly. It is completely unbelievable. A rude voice rings out, hey. Another big kid comes over and orders, if you are not going to eat it, give it to me. Ria searches her memory. Thomas, I remember now. That kid who only knows how to rely on his big body to be a bully in the orphanage. Ria quickly retorts to him, don't be ridiculous. Why should I give you my food? Thomas is surprised by Ria's response. You, what did you say? He shouts, you dare talk back to me. Another white-haired boy comes over. Don't make so much noise. He leisurely reminds them. Do you want to be scolded by the headmaster? The angry Thomas scolds. Jack, why are you sticking your nose into this? You are the one who bullied the kids before. Thomas looks at the bread, and a look of fear flashes across his face. They are usually quiet. What is wrong with these kids today? He reaches out to grab the bread, and Emily screams as she sees the bread leave her plate. Thomas smugly mocks, what is wrong? I will eat this for you. Ria angrily stands up. Don't you stop right there. Emily pulls Ria's hand and says to her, Ria, are you going to chase after Thomas? Ria is surprised. What is wrong? People around Ria discuss, what is wrong? Why is Ria suddenly like that? Isn't she afraid of Thomas? What if she gets beaten up? Isn't she a bit strange today? Ria remembers the past. That is right, I was a weak and timid child at the orphanage. If I change too much after just one night, it definitely won't be good for me. Ria stops. She thinks to herself, first, I should just live quietly. She returns to her younger self's demeanor. You are right, Emily. I will be careful. Thank you for worrying about me. Jack stands silently from afar. He witnesses everything. Sunlight shines into the room. Ria hugs her stomach, which is growling from hunger. She wipes the floor with one hand and hugs her empty stomach with the other, crying, I am so hungry that I do not have the strength to clean anymore, whatever the misunderstanding is. I should have chased after that kid. A voice scolds her, you idiot. Why did you give away your bread like an idiot? Ria asks him, so, you are saying it is my fault now? Jack replies, yeah, if you had not given away your bread in the first place, nothing would have happened. Ria angrily curses to herself, that little liar, should I punch him? Jack suddenly holds out a piece of bread. Okay, fine. It is half a piece of bread, take this. Ria happily takes it. You are giving it to me. When Jack hears Ria ask this, he replies, if you do not want to eat it, I will throw it away. Ria quickly stops him. No, do not throw it away. Ria hugs the piece of bread. When I was at the orphanage, I did not talk to him much. Only now that I think about it, I am grateful. She smiles brightly and praises Jack. So it was you are such a kind child. Jack glances at Ria suspiciously. You are a bit strange today. A voice rings out, everyone go to the hall right now, there is a new person at the orphanage. A man leads a little girl in. That is the present. The day I met my death at the Duke's mansion is also the day the Duke's youngest princess, Diana, returned to the Tessar orphanage. Can I consider this a coincidence? The other children look at Diana and discuss. What is wrong with that kid suddenly? Another mouth to feed, we do not have enough food as it is, we are going to die. Diana's image is reflected in Ria's eyes. If Diana had not appeared in this place in the past, then Duke Elid would not have leveled the orphanage. And I would not have become a wanderer suffering for a night. After thinking everything through, Ria calls out, "Hey Dana." Ria looks down at Diana. "How old are you?" She muses, if I blamed everything on Diana I could think that way, but no matter who I blame, nothing will change. Moreover, looking down at the innocent child, I can't put all the blame on an innocent child. The little girl hears this and speaks up, "I am 4 years old, 4 years old." Ria takes Diana's hand and raises it. "You even remember your age, you are so grown up, Dana." Diana looks at Ria in surprise. "Then first, let us go take a bath." Diana happily follows Ria. Ria silently vows to Diana that is right, who knows, this might be an opportunity to change the future of me and Diana. Diana is very happy taking a bath with Ria and exclaims, "Dana, hooray." Ria also happily echoes Diana, "That is right, you are great." Ria takes a towel and wrings it dry for Diana. Then she wipes Diana's face. "Come on, let me wipe this for you, are not you cold?" Hearing this, Diana replies, Ria smiles at Diana. She remembers the events of her past life. Diana was very whiny and easy to cry, so the children in the orphanage avoided her for fear of being scolded by the headmaster. She was always cold to everything around her, and I tried to keep my distance like the other children. She had seen those small eyes always looking at her, but strangely enough, she always pretended not to want to know Diana, but Diana always lingered around me. Now she only regrets not caring about Diana back then. Why did that concern feel so burdensome to me back then? But now that I think about it, maybe I was too heartless to a 4-year-old child who had just been separated from her family. She suddenly looks up at Diana. Oh my God. A little angel appears before her, surprising her. Before wiping off the dirt, I did not realize it at all. The glittering silver hair and bright blue eyes are dazzling. Anyone who looks at it knows she is from the Elid family. She gets angry when she remembers the boss often saying they are stupid, but he is the one who is really stupid. The headmaster always said we are stupid, but it turns out he is the most stupid. Yet he thinks a child that everyone knows is a noble is an orphan. Then she looks down at Diana's small feet. "Come on, Dana. This time I will wash your feet." Under those feet are countless wounds, causing her pain. Her feet are full of wounds. Diana explains in a panic, "It is nothing." Hearing this, she gently comforts Diana. "It is okay, I won't get angry, so you can tell me the truth." "Really?" Diana replies hesitantly. "Won't you scold me?" She gently replies, "Of course." Hearing Ria's words, Diana becomes more courageous. "There is this thing, actually." Diana boldly and gently replies, "Dana hurts a lot." Ria is happy when she hears Diana's words. Finally, Diana is no longer afraid and confidently expresses herself to me. As expected, she was afraid of being scolded. So she was so timid. "Don't worry, I will make it stop hurting for you in a bit." Diana shyly looks towards her. "Will you blow on it for me?" She gently replies, "No." She places her hand on Diana's feet and transmits streams of spiritual power. "I will do something much better than that." In an instant those feet become healed. "Here, how is it? Does it not hurt anymore?" Diana looks down at her feet in surprise. "You are so cool, so awesome." She innocently looks at Diana happily. "This is nothing." She remembers how she practiced hard before. "Thankfully, I learned many types of magic from the master. Although my innate magic power was little, it was enough to use once. But now she is not the same as before. She only used healing magic once, and her mana is already depleted. She feels like something is strange in her body. Clearly I only had a little mana left, but why do I feel so full? Something is wrong." Suddenly, Diana jumps into her arms. Diana happily hugs Ria tightly and does not let go. "Sister, thank you. Dana is very happy thanks to you." Hearing those words makes her emotional. The warm body and soft scent of the child. She raises her hand to Diana's head and chokes up. "The shocking events that have been going on since yesterday have made my mind feel like it is floating, but now it is gradually settling down a bit." She hugs Diana in her arms happily. "I am also very happy to meet Dana." She increasingly determines to tell herself, "That is right, although there are still many incomprehensible things, the thing I need to focus on right now is something else. If I remember correctly, in just 1 week, Duke Elid and the knights will come here." Remembering the fierce war at this time, the headmaster had hidden Diana to sell to slave traders, then lied to the knights who came to find the princess. But the lie was exposed, and the entire orphanage was accused of being an accomplice. Then everyone was punished under the hands of the angry duke. If I protect and teach Diana, maybe But if I take good care of Diana in the next 1 week, and find evidence of the headmaster's corrupt behavior and expose it to the Duke. She looks at Diana affectionately. Then the future can definitely be changed. Night falls under the small house. Diana says, "Two sisters, can you read me a book?" She gently looks towards Diana. What to do? There are no books here. Can't Dana sleep? Hearing this, Diana does not ask for much and replies, Seeing Diana sad, she says, "Then I will tell you a story from the past." Diana looks towards Rhea curiously. "But sister." Diana touches the necklace Rhea wears around her neck. "What is this?" Hearing this, she raises the necklace and touches it. It looks pretty, right? This is something I have been wearing since I was abandoned in front of the orphanage. For some reason I feel like I am not allowed to take it off." While touching it, she suddenly sees that the necklace is broken in panic. "Oh no, when did it break?" She sadly looks down at the necklace. "I treasured it because I thought it was a trace to help me find my parents, but it is cracked like this." Seeing Rhea sad, Diana comforts her. "Even though it is cracked, it is still very beautiful, just like you." She is surprised to be praised. "You said I am beautiful," Diana immediately affirms. You are very beautiful." Diana happily looks towards Rhea. "You are very beautiful, sparkly." She also happily looks back at Diana. "I have ever heard that I am beautiful from someone before. Thank you, Dana." She is also very happy looking towards Diana. "You are the first person to say I am beautiful." She remembers, "Actually, when I was young I thought I was very beautiful." Even if it was her, she was always surprised when she looked at herself, because every time I looked in the mirror when washing my face, I was so surprised that I startled myself. Although no one outside cares about her, no one around said I was very beautiful. Me, too self-absorbed, expression heard somewhere already then, but unexpectedly there is no one to say one time. She always tells herself, "I thought everyone did that just because they were jealous of me, so I told myself not to care anymore." Until that day, until I heard that said, "Come to think of it, Annie's hair color, unexpectedly very beautiful. I also want to be similar." She happily tells that Lizzie, "What about my hair color? Is it special or beautiful?" Lizzie looks towards her. "You're Rhea's hair color. Your hair is smooth truly, but..." She is shocked to hear those words. "It is just brown." She exclaims in a fluster, "What?" A drop of juice falls. "Rhea, are you okay?" She can't believe what she heard. What did he just say? She kneels down in fear. "My hair is brown." Unbelievable, so the way I see myself is different from the way others see me. The words that they talked about her that she would not believe were true. "Hey guys, what color are my hair and eyes?" "They are both brown." "Yeah, your eyes are dark brown and your hair is lighter." At that time she just thought they were jealous of her. Everyone said the same thing. She was worried and scared. "So my eyes are really different." But she could not accept it and searched for every way to be right. But even so, I still could not believe it, so I asked a painter to draw a portrait for me, then even asked my master again. Those things are too old and not worth mentioning anymore. They are all things in the past, and now she has someone to cherish. I have more important things to focus on. It is lunchtime, and the children are eagerly sitting at the table eating and drinking. Diana happily shows off to Rhea. "Sister, I finished eating." Seeing this, she praises Diana. "You eat so well, Dana." While eating happily, Diana becomes gloomy, but startling her is she still hungry. She gives her bread to Diana. After all, she is still young, so it is normal to be greedy. "Here, eat this too, Dana." Diana happily accepts. "Really, thank you, sister." She feels relieved watching Diana eat. "I am still a little hungry, but I am older, so this is nothing." At work time, she could not stand it anymore and rubbed her empty stomach while lamenting. "I can't take it anymore. I feel like I am about to die." Watching Diana jump around, "She can't do anything. I was going to do laundry and fetch water, but for some reason my strength is so weak. I am exhausted. I can't even feel the magic power inside." She silently remembers, "If the orphanage's water system was a little better, I would not have to struggle like this." Diana happily calls her over. "Sister, water. Water is over there. It is okay. I can endure it. No, it is fine as long as Dana is happy. The rest does not matter." A beautiful big river. She collapses on the ground from exhaustion. Finally here. She looks at Diana and instructs, "Dana, wait here for me to wash the clothes." Diana obediently listens. "Okay, I will stay here." She picks up the mat and criticizes, "Look at this, it is too dirty." Suddenly something startles her. "I have to quickly finish washing and go back." She turns her eyes towards the sound. What is that sound? A wooden sword being swung, controlled by someone. A boy practicing swordsmanship. He seems to have been practicing for a very long time. Rhea and Diana stand behind a tree, peeking. It is Jack. I did not expect him to train in a place like this since he was young. She wonders, although he has never been formally trained, he does not have a single bad habit, come to think of it. She looks down at Diana, who is staring intently at Jack. After all, Jack is not an ordinary person. Later, when many people know him, one day, he will be known as one of the 3 best knights of the Empire, a future swordsman being forged. At that time, he will meet Diana, and he will become a person worth relying on, and fate will lead him to become Diana's loyal knight. At this time, Jack has finished training and is afraid of being discovered. She pulls Diana into her arms. Oh no, we have to run away. After finishing training, Jack notices the sound and looks around. My talent is perfect concealment. You will never catch me. He did not expect it to be Rhea and is helpless. I see you, come out. She looks towards Jack shyly. You knew I was here. Jack is also helpless. I knew from the beginning. She innocently looks at Jack. If I knew, I would have come to say hello earlier, right, Dana? He sighs and looks down at her stomach. Why is my stomach growling at this moment? He turns his eyes to look at the fair-skinned and rosy-cheeked Diana. So you gave all your food to this kid again today? He coldly utters, this kid. Questioning Diana makes her about to cry. You are eating too much. Seeing this, she opens her mouth to reconcile the two. Jack, what are you saying? Children have to eat a lot to grow up and be healthy. She uncomfortably sighs to herself. This is your future princess. Speak properly. He throws her bread to her. Don't talk nonsense, take it. She looks towards Jack in surprise. It is the bread you saved. Why are you giving it to me? He sighs at her. Just eat it if you do not want to leech off of others. You have to take care of yourself first. He again cuts off Diana. And you are forbidden from taking it. Got it. Diana also sulks. I won't. She looks at the two of them and is helpless. Seriously. Can't they stop arguing for a second? After eating, she stops to chat with him. More importantly, Jack, why are you training alone here? Training? No, I was just bored so I practiced a bit. You want to become a knight, right? He coldly replies to her. Do you really think ordinary people like us can easily become knights? I will become a mercenary. Although it is not honorable, at least I can earn a lot of money. She only smiles when she hears this. It is hard to believe that a future gold-named knight in the Empire once dreamed of becoming a mercenary. I do not know, but Jack. Hearing Rhea say this startles him. I think you will eventually become a knight. Jack is uncomfortable. What do you know? You do not know how difficult it is, Rhea says calmly. I know it is difficult, but... She happily looks at Jack. If you work hard enough, you can do it, right? Really, you also want to become a knight, right, Jack? He looks at her wistfully. If I keep working hard like this, I will definitely do it. His face turns red. Then he helps carry the water bucket for Rhea. Rhea watches Jack's back as he leaves. That makes Rhea ponder. He pretends not to care, but even if he complains, he still protects Dana. And remembering the scene later when Jack will protect Diana, after all, if he really did not care at all, then back then, when no one dared to step forward, he would not have stepped up to protect Diana like that. She runs after him. A true knight is not judged by his title, but it is expressed through the spirit of daring to stand up for the weak. Suddenly she feels something throbbing under her feet. I walk too fast, so now I have a cramp, sister. Hearing Diana call her, she looks towards Diana. I am tired, can you carry me? Jack notices something unusual about her foot. Okay, I will carry you, wait a bit. He immediately uncomfortably scolds Diana. Are you trying to kill him? How can you ask to be carried? He is already very tired from skipping meals. Diana still does not know what is going on and affirms. Rhea to carry her, but I just want to be with sister. She again feels helpless with the two. They are arguing again. She looks towards Jack in surprise. Hey, what are you waiting for? He bends down and tells Rhea to get on his back, surprising her. Quick, get on. Before she can be shocked, he blurts out, you will carry her and I will carry you, making her dazed. What the heck are you saying? She shyly waves her hand. Jack, even if you are strong, carrying both of us is a bit. She still has not recovered until she gets back. I guessed wrong, he can do it. He finally puts her down. Thank God, we did not run into anyone on the way. She is grateful. Hey, thank you, Jack, you must be very tired. Jack turns away shyly, but his voice is still stubborn. It is nothing. Diana hides behind Rhea and waves to him. Seeing this, Rhea smiles softly. He is really very kind. At this time, she turns around and happily says to Diana, okay, let us go inside now. Dana, the little girl obediently walks up. Yes, they are still happy and do not know that there is someone appearing behind them. A soft scolding voice rings out. You too. Rhea is startled and turns her head towards the direction of the voice. A man appears, his face fierce. Where have you two been wandering around at this hour? Diana is scared and quickly hugs Rhea. Scary old man, he looks too gloomy, I do not like him. She takes the little girl's hand and strokes it, comforting her, and secretly calling not good in her heart. Of all people, we were caught by the director for being outside after curfew. Stopping for a moment, Rhea says, no, we just went to do laundry. He does not seem to pay attention to her words and quickly changes the subject. How old are you? Rhea hesitantly replies, 8 years old. She has an uneasy feeling. Why is he asking? He rubs his chin, his voice sinister. Good, very good. He turns around and leaves before not forgetting to leave a threatening sentence. That is enough. Hurry up and get inside. If there is a second time, I won't let it go. Rhea sees him leave and sticks out her tongue, making a face. Always acting like he is powerful when all he does is indulge in alcohol. Diana speaks up and calls her sister. The little girl opens her eyes wide, looking very pitiful, and says in a small voice, that scary old man is gone. Seeing this, Rhea strokes Diana's head. Dana, he has gone far away, do not be afraid anymore, so cute. Now let us go inside and go to sleep, the little girl happily replies. Yes, Dana wants to sleep with sister. Rhea smiles gently. Before, on the day Duke Elid came to the orphanage, he rescued Diana and Jack, who were locked in the attic. Then he executed the director on the spot and punished the entire orphanage. Rhea takes Diana's hand. That day will not be far away. Her voice is very firm. To protect Diana and the children in the orphanage, I have to find the evidence that can overthrow the director. Lucio is standing looking into the distance. Suddenly a voice rings out respectfully, Your Lordship. He stands there seriously reporting on the results of the search. We have searched all the orphanages and alleys in the territory, but still cannot find the princess. He then speaks, expand the scope of the search immediately. Lucio frowns and orders, from now on, thoroughly inspect the ships coming from neighboring countries. Duke Elid is the head of the Elid family. He recalls the figure of his beloved daughter. A few days ago, Diana disappeared while attending the festival. At first, everyone just thought the young lady got lost, and believed that they would quickly find her. Lucio clenches his fist, suppressing the sadness. My friend, is this also what you felt? Suddenly he speaks up and asks, Taze, I heard that you have not eaten or slept for several days. Are you showing your dissatisfaction? Taze is startled, and he quickly explains. No, I am just looking for the young lady, so. Seeming like just a casual question, Lucio interrupts Taze's words. Yes, we must find Diana at all costs. He continues, but in your current condition, you are completely useless. Hearing this, Taze bites his lip slightly. 100 words wanting to be said, but none can be uttered. After a long time, as if he has made a decision, he speaks up. I understand, I will take care of myself. Sid silently looks at him. Suddenly he gives a satisfied smile. He remembers the conversation from earlier. I just need to deliberately cause a small disadvantage for Taze, by spreading false information about him being removed from the princess's guard. But it seems that things are even more favorable than the initial plan. The Duke has completely lost faith in Taze. Pitiable for the honest Taze. He has no idea that he has been set up. Lucio points towards Sid, Taze and I will search in the vast western area. You start monitoring from the east. He orders. At the same time, inform Count Marietta to also search in the west. He and Taze simultaneously obey. Understood, Your Lordship. We understand. And on this side, right at the orphanage, Diana is lying asleep on the bed, looking very well behaved. At this time elsewhere, Rhea is trying to open a door. With a click, the door finally opens. She gently pushes the door and steps in. Rhea looks inside, and breathes a sigh of relief. She stands looking around the room. It has been so long since I have infiltrated like this. She walks closer to the desk, on which there is a stack of documents. All right, let us see what is hidden here. Rhea picks it up and flips through each page to see. She frowns slightly looking at the expenses in the ledger. Unreasonable food costs, water bills, books, toys. The ledger is full of embezzlement, but this is still not the real secret that the director is burying. Rhea calmly takes a deep breath. Focus, Rhea. Use the flow of magic power to feel something suspicious. She uses magic power to probe. I found it. Rhea's face changes, and she quickly lifts up the carpet under her feet. This is not just an ordinary carpet. She discovers that there is a door underneath, and it is an ancient artifact with magic that blocks perception. Rhea bends down and lifts the door. Why is something so expensive placed in an old orphanage? Then she discovers that there is a large chest placed underneath. What is hidden beneath the floor? Why is it so big? Rhea seems to not believe that she found it so easily. I found it. She opens the lid of the chest. Inside are a stack of papers and a few books. Rhea casually chooses a book. The quantity here cannot be compared with what is on the desk. What exactly is the reason that he has to constantly hide so thoroughly? She flips through each page to read. In the book is information of all the children who have ever been at the orphanage. Suddenly Rhea notices that some names are not recorded in it. What are the names on this notes column? They look so familiar. She shivers, as if remembering something. I know the owners of these names. Remembers when she was a spy for Tarantinum. These are the names of the criminals who shook the empire with the slave auction. Rhea can't believe it, gritting her teeth and angrily scolding that bastard. He is colluding with a child slave trafficking ring. She takes another deep breath, uses her magic power to copy everything. Calm down first. I need to copy this book and the transaction reports. I will leave the copy and present the original to his lordship as evidence. Maybe sooner or later they will realize it. But in the meantime, I need to hold out until Duke Elid arrives. Suddenly a few drops of blood fall. Rhea exclaims in surprise, blood. Her face changes, and she does not know when blood has been vomiting from her mouth. Rhea touches her mouth. This is blood. Syrup gushes out of Rhea's mouth, filling her hand. Using too much magic at once. My body can't take it. Rhea suppresses the pain, her hands still stained with syrup, trembling, using the spell to recall syrup from under the ground. But I can't fall here, even if the director comes back. He won't notice any traces of intrusion. Hide the evidence and do not let it be discovered until the Duke arrives. She goes to the door, wiping her mouth while encouraging herself. That is my goal. A few days later. Scene changes to a mansion where the sound of cheerful laughter and lively conversations are bustling. Rhea is absent-mindedly wiping the glass window when a voice shouts loudly, "Rhea," making her startled and turning around. "Hello, Annie, did you sleep well?" Annie cheerfully asks, "What about you? You look very weak these days." Rhea casually replies, "It was just a slight fever. I am fine now." She smiles brightly. "Really, that is great." As soon as she finishes speaking, she clenches her hand, thinking to herself, after sneaking into the director's office and coming out, "I got a fever, but now I have recovered enough to use simple spells. In emergency situations." Rhea gives a bright smile. "Thank you for worrying about me now." The director of the orphanage comes charging from somewhere and points at the two of them, shouting loudly, "Are you two being lazy again, you useless brats?" He shouts and yells loudly, "Don't talk anymore and start cleaning up immediately," making Annie scared and leave. "I am sorry." The director looks at Rhea and curses angrily. "Damn it, my head is a mess now." She opens her eyes wide in surprise. "Duke Elad, no way, how could it be?" In that recollection appears, has this happened before? The Duke of Elad has. He points at Rhea's face and pulls her back to reality. "Hey you." He orders, "Bring the new kid here to me." She is surprised. "What?" He becomes impatient. "Don't make me repeat myself again." He shouts loudly, urging, "Hurry up, bring her here," making Rhea panic and run as fast as she can. She runs while vaguely thinking, what to do now. Should I run away? No, what if I miss his lordship? Rhea recalls the past. If they catch Dana like this, they will definitely, like in the past, lock Dana in the attic so that his lordship cannot find her. A group of children, as if they were afraid of a monster. Of course, they will eventually find her. But the result is, the children at the orphanage will have to suffer the punishment for his lordship's rage. Returning to reality, Rhea panics. "I have to stop that from happening at all costs." Diana's clothes are a little dirty and her eyes are sparkling, calling sister. Rhea runs up worriedly. "What is wrong, Dana?" The little girl's eyes are teary. "I fell, it hurt so much." Diana cries and regrets. "Sorry, you had to work so hard to wash my clothes." She coaxes and comforts. "It is okay, do not cry, Dana." Rhea hugs her tightly to comfort her. "You do not have to apologize for things like this. Stumbling is normal." She happily comforts, "And we can do laundry anytime." "Got it, don't cry anymore." The little girl listens. "Sister." He comes over and sees the scene in front of him and shouts loudly, "What is taking so long? Bring her here to me quickly." He smirks. His face is both happy and crazy, angry. "There you are." He slowly reaches out his hand. His voice both angry and normal. "If you found it, you should bring it to me right away. Why are you hesitating? Now come here." Rhea worriedly hugs Diana tightly. "No, I can't hand Dana over like this." She clenches her teeth as if her jaw is about to burst. "Even if I am the only one who gets locked up, I have to protect Dana." His cold voice rings out, "Get out of the way." Jack stands in front of the two and shouts, "You are scaring the child." Rhea worriedly asks Jack, "How are you okay?" He calmly replies, "Are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere?" She still hugs the little girl tightly. "I am okay." His face changes, full of anger. You insolent brat." Cold sentence rings out, making Jack stiff. "Do you want to die?" That staircase is as cold as snow. He hits Jack hard in the face and then casually shoves all three of them down the stairs. He says calmly, "You arrogant brats." Then slowly closes the door. "Rot in here." A crash rings out and darkness gradually engulfs the room. Rhea quickly sits up worriedly asking, "Dana, are you hurt anywhere?" Diana innocently replies, "No, I am fine. What about you?" She reassures, "Don't worry about me." Rhea worriedly shouts loudly, "Jack, are you all right?" She shakes his body and keeps calling his name, "Jack, Jack." Rhea's face changes with worry, thinking to herself, "This is bad. He is unconscious. The injury is too serious. I can't leave him like this. How to get out of here?" As soon as she finishes thinking, suddenly something flashes behind her. She realizes something and turns to look at where the light is coming from. There. Rhea rushes over and quickly removes the planks. She tries hard to beat the door and thinks of her friend. Jack's condition is not good, and Dana is scared. The more Rhea thinks, the more anxious she becomes. Although the Duke will eventually come to look for us, we can't know what unexpected events might happen, so we need to get out of here as soon as possible. The light is also gradually shining more. "Please, even if it is just a small chance." She succeeds in tearing down the entire plank. The door to freedom appears before her eyes. Rhea is both happy and doubtful, calculating, "I did it, the gap is big enough for me to crawl through." She crawls out of the window to observe the surroundings. Her hands are covered in syrup, but she brushes aside the pain to rescue herself. Friends, if I make a noise, everyone will notice, especially the director, so there is only one way. Diana worriedly asks, Sister, your hand. Ria calls softly Diana. She gives a kind smile to comfort. I will be back soon. The more she comforts, the brighter Ria smiles and instructs, I will definitely bring your father here, so while I am gone, you have to take good care of him, okay? The little girl worriedly cries and shouts, Sister. Don't. Ria immediately jumped out of the window. Below, a royal army was advancing towards the orphanage. Lucio said, an orphan in a remote mountain area. A respectful voice spoke, Sir. Bayanaka respectfully saluted. We have completed the search of the surrounding area and found nothing suspicious. He praised, well done, take me back immediately, she respectfully replied, I understand. He greeted with open arms and a happy face. I did not know that we would be welcoming such a distinguished guest. He pointed towards the children, these are all the children we care for. The children trembled in fear, as you requested. I have gathered all the children from the orphanage. Bayanaka covered her mouth and whispered, Sir, as expected. The young lady is not among them, however. The director's behavior is very suspicious, the way he treats the children. Lucio, after hearing this, said loudly, I see the same thing. He looked at the children and said loudly, your children. Lucio asked directly, do you see any child with platinum blonde hair and blue eyes? He angrily pointed and shouted, the Duke is asking you, answer quickly. His face turned cold when he heard him shout and the children answered, we do not know, we do not have any child like that. He laughed triumphantly. I used half of my fortune to install detection-resistant artifacts in the attic and cellars. Even Duke Ellard won't be able to find evidence easily. Lucio warned, if you lie, you will face severe punishment. He assured, I swear, I have never seen the child. From above, a surge of pressure fell directly onto everyone standing. She realized something and reported, Sir, an extremely powerful magical force. This is completely abnormal. He reached out and felt it. I can feel it too. Bayanaka called out loudly, Director, making his face turn pale. Yes. She suggested, you would not mind if we take a look around the orphanage. Would you? Ria is lying unconscious on the ground. Bayanaka frantically ran to where Ria was unconscious and reported, Sir, we found her. Here, why is a child in a place like this? She became even more panicked and worried. The amount of magic is so strong that it is strange we did not realize it sooner, but the magic is being severely distorted. Bayanaka immediately used healing magic from within her palm, emitting a healing light. If we leave her like this, her life will be in danger. We need to act immediately, do it. A loud call rang out, startling Lucio, Father. Diana cried and shouted loudly, Father. The call echoed from upstairs, making him frantically search. Lucio, worried to the point of turning pale, shouted loudly, Diana, stay where you are. He immediately gave an urgent order, go up there and save Diana immediately. Yes, sir. Ria also gradually woke up. Suddenly, she regained her senses and opened her eyes wide. Bayanaka asked with concern and worry, Little one, you are awake? Ria questioned, This is. She opened her mouth wide in shock, unable to close it. The person standing in front of Ria was the Duke of Ellard. She happily thought to herself, thank God, they found me, the future has not been changed yet. Ria immediately knelt down, Sir, please help me. She explained in a panicked and hurried manner, Jack, upstairs, my friend is in danger. He is capturing Dana. Bayanaka pointed towards him. Is this the one responsible? Ria confirmed, making his face turn purple with fear. Yes. He has always been cruel and has tried to sell all of us as slaves. Her face changed as she looked. Slaves, he shouted in panic, lying. He shouted madly, causing Ria to tremble in fear. You little wretch, how dare you lie to the Duke? He raised his hand to hit her, but a hand stopped him. Bayanaka was the one who blocked the blow. She angrily threw him to the ground with a painful thud. She asked with concern, Little one, are you all right? Ria politely replied, though still in pain, Yes, I am fine. A loud cry echoed Ria. All the children simultaneously said loudly, You are safe, where did you go? Ria shouted in panic, You guys, a cold, oppressive voice, silence everyone. Lucio glanced at the children. If you do not want to be punished. All the children fearfully obeyed. She was both worried and calculating. They have already interrogated the children. Things are happening faster than I expected. That means now is not the time to relax. While contemplating, she used magic from another dimension to take out a stack of papers, the evidence she had hidden last time. I need to use it to prove everything. Ria presented the evidence and shouted loudly, Sir, please look at this. As she presented it, she explained, This is a secret notebook containing records of the director's transactions with children. He was in pain. How did you get that? Ria explained in a panicked and hurried manner. It is not just slave trading, but also evidence of embezzlement and corruption. The director never saw us as human beings. The children only pretended not to know Dana because they were threatened. His face changed with anger. So that is it, just as you said. The children testified that they had never seen anyone like Diana. She presented it while trembling and pleading. They are very scared. They are just children. They only did it to survive. Please, I beg you. Ria cried loudly. Please have mercy on the children here. The children also simultaneously spoke up. Sir, we are sorry. Please forgive us. Lucio reached out to take the evidence and asked, begging for your lives, did I ever say that I would kill you? He comforted Ria. I won't harm you, so do not cry anymore. She was both surprised and happy then. He leisurely said, what I mean is I will forgive you. Ria was happily surprised and hurried. Thank you very much, sir. He smiled happily. There is no need to thank me. Protecting children and protecting the innocent is my duty. Lucio glanced at him angrily. More importantly, there is still someone else who needs to face judgment. He ordered his subordinates, tie him up and take him back to the mansion immediately. He will be interrogated. He still pleaded with regret. Sir, you can't do this, sir. He shouted each word desperately. Lucio glanced at him with anger. Sir. Both of them looked in his direction. Ria sighed a breath of relief. Thank God, it is over. Now both Jack and Dana are safe. Diana ran quickly and hugged her tightly. Sister. Ria asked with concern. Dana, you are safe. Are you hurt anywhere? You must have been very scared. The little girl smiled brightly and replied, I am fine. What about you, sister? The two subordinates whispered, oh my God, the young lady used to be very picky, but now she is acting so gently. I completely agree. Ria smiled brightly like sunlight. The reason the young lady is relatively safe here is probably thanks to that girl. Lucio called out with a happy look, Diana, come here now. He reached out his hand. It is time to go home. Diana ran and hugged him tightly. Father. Lucio happily looked at his daughter. I was going to scold you, but since you stayed quiet and did not cry, I will let it go this time. The little girl obediently said yes. Bayanaka reported, Duke, considering the long journey ahead, and since it is necessary to resolve the issues of the orphanage, it is best to depart as soon as possible. She shouted loudly, prepare the carriages immediately. Ria sadly thought to herself, so it is time to say goodbye to Dana. Diana turned her head to look back at her, still thinking, I knew this would happen, but somehow I still feel regret. The little girl looked up at Lucio with wide eyes. Father, what about sister? Is not she coming with us? He replied coldly but still full of love. If you want. Hearing that, the little girl ran and hugged her tightly. Diana was happy. She can come with me. While thinking, Ria said, no, the story can't deviate any further. Jack is the one who should go instead of me. She tried to explain, the boy is with Dana. His name is Jack. He was even injured trying to save her. All right, he said in a bored tone as if he did not want to listen. We will discuss it when he wakes up. Lucio was still considerate, but I am still asking for your choice. Do not you want to come with us? Ria was again caught up in her own thoughts. I know. This offer is far beyond what I deserve. But somehow I feel like I am just replacing Jack. Jack is still unconscious. Diana grabbed her clothes. Sister. The little girl pleaded, come with me, Dana. No, Dana. Ria gently stroked Diana's head. She happily agreed, okay, I will come along. The little girl was happily overjoyed, really. Diana smiled like a flower and hugged Ria tightly, not letting go. Dana is so happy, I want to be with you forever. She said to herself, now, I will reassure Diana, and ensure that Jack's position is properly restored. I can take care of my own future after that. Lucio instructed, the carriages will be here soon. So wait here for a moment, she replied, yes. A voice rang out, young lady. Tay saluted, I am truly relieved to see you safe. He also thanked her little one. I also have to thank you for protecting the young lady. Ria did not dare accept and replied, no, I just did what I needed to do. Tay sadly admitted his fault. Duke, when we return, I will accept the punishment for failing to protect the young lady. Please accept this heirloom from my father. From his pocket, he took out an heirloom necklace. Even if I lose my knighthood, I will dedicate my life to protecting the young lady. Lucio reprimanded. You are a fool. You are the only fool who would use your parents' heirloom as proof of loyalty. He spoke to order, take it back and focus on your probationary period. He hesitated and replied, but, Duke, I know this person, a knight with a gemstone emblem split by a sword. He is the one who will later become Jack's adoptive father, and the vice commander of the Lection Knights. Taze respectfully said, Duke, the carriages have arrived. Lucio and Diana both stepped into the magnificent carriage. Ria was thinking and hesitating. That is great, he called out loudly. Am I allowed to ride in the carriage too? Lucio questioned, what, are you worried that there won't be enough space? She quickly replied, no, it is not like that, of course not. As he went up he said, a little child like you does not take up much space. Do not worry, the little girl was excited. Dana and I will sit together. Ria slowly stepped up, let us get in. She was surprised to the point of gaping. The inside is even more amazing. Ria sat quietly and timidly, riding in this wonderful carriage, while looking so ragged myself. I feel a little embarrassed. We will depart now. She looked down at the people below. Ria's friends were all waving goodbye. The carriage also began to roll, and the fate of life also began to turn. This is my previous life. I just stood and watched as Jack left on this carriage. Ria was still caught up in the thoughts she created, but now the future has changed. That means I can also live a new life. Suddenly Lucio spoke first. What is your name? He patiently repeated again. I am asking what your name is and how old you are. She was tense to the point of her body going limp. Ria, I do not have a last name. I am 8 years old. Diana had fallen asleep at some point. Then let me ask you a question. He immediately began his question. Do you know Diana's real identity? Lucio was serious. Do you know who I am? He repeated the question again. Do you know Diana's real identity? Do you know who I am, right? Ria was tense and her mind was racing. He thought I was strange that day. Is he suspecting me? Lucio looked at her with a stern face. Returning to the moment Ria was being healed by Bayanaka. If the child had not fallen from the attic, if she had been with the other children, she was too normal to have been overlooked. But when that child desperately clung to me and presented the evidence, I felt like I was hit hard on the back of the head. The child's weak body, the undeniable signs of abuse. Ria began to stand up. Returning to reality, Lucio was pondering what he knew, thinking about the circumstances that had driven this child to such despair. I felt an inexplicable frustration. Ria fearfully replied softly, I do not know the details, but I can sense that Diana is an important person. He continued, how were you able to steal the evidence? How did you know what it was and what the director was doing? She quickly explained, I was in charge of the director's office. So I happened to find it. Ria nervously continued to answer. I learned what was happening in the orphanage after overhearing a conversation between the director and strangers. He was satisfied with those answers. It seems you have quite a troublesome habit. She clenched her trembling palms. Ria again fell into her own thoughts. Is he disappointed, thinking that I am too cunning, if he regrets adopting me? She quickly explained, I only acted because I thought that the safety of the children should be the top priority. Please believe me. He smiled with satisfaction. Even though she is just a child herself, she made that decision to protect others. The carriage rolled along, and the sky was already getting dark. The child is more perceptive and intelligent than I thought. Arriving in front of the inn, Duke. We have arrived at the inn. Lucio instructed the servant, take the children to their rooms and let them wash their faces first. Then, summon the countess. Yes, sir. Bayanaka respectfully asked, Sir, you summoned me? Lucio spoke, Countess Marietta. He gratefully replied, it took a while, but thank you for coming from the duchy. Please send my regards to His Highness, the Grand Duke as well. She was polite. I only rushed here to help. More importantly, why did you summon me? Lucio spoke to make a request. This is a delicate request from a duke. But, could you stay with the children and watch over them while they prepare? Bayanaka laughed happily. You are hesitating over such a small matter. No need to worry. The safety of the children is the top priority. Lucio smiled and replied, I appreciate your words. Bayanaka continued. Then, I will go upstairs to assist with the preparations. Come to think of it, this is quite convenient because I also have something I want to check. Lucio was surprised. She laughed loudly. Don't mind me, it is nothing. Inside the inn, Ria and Diana were also preparing to eat. Thank you for the meal. She happily enjoyed a warm bath and even honey milk, so luxurious. Both of them played together happily. Dana, you have something on your mouth, sister also has it. The door of the room opened and a voice came in. Hello, little ones. Bayanaka happily brought up blankets. Have you taken a bath? I brought up some clean clothes. She was grateful. Thank you for taking care of the children. Everyone can leave now. Ria spoke. Hello, Bayanaka was curious. So, you are Ria, she considered. She does not even know about the Duke's coat of arms. That means she really does not know what happened at the orphanage. She looks familiar. Who is she after all? Bayanaka asked with concern. All right, then change into these clothes and come down for dinner. Suddenly she grabbed Ria's wrist. Ria. Bayanaka looked with concern at the wound on her wrist. Is this what that director did? Ria replied, yes, back then. She angrily gritted her teeth. I know, he is a cruel bastard. Ria was panicked and surprised at her offer. I want to help, but I do not have a talent for healing magic. When we get to the Duke's mansion, I will call a priest. Priest, I am fine, really, that is too much. Bayanaka continued, there is no need to refuse. Healing those who are in pain is simply the right thing to do. Ria was suspicious of that action. This person is angry for me and cares about me as if it were her own business. She is so warm and upright. She quickly withdrew her hand. Could it be that she is a mage? Just now she mentioned healing magic. Bayanaka explained that. Maybe you do not understand because you are still young, but I am a magic swordsman. Ria was surprised. A magic swordsman. The title of magic swordsman cannot be attained by just anyone. It refers to a swordsman who has reached a certain level and can use sword chi. While thinking, she asked, if so, could it be that this person is sister? What is your name? Bayanaka introduced, my name is Bianca, Bianca Marita. Ria was shocked when she heard the introduction. It is really Bianca Marita. Born as the illegitimate child of a low-ranking viscount, but with outstanding swordsmanship and overwhelming combat magic, she made significant contributions in the war and was granted the title of Countess. And she is someone I have admired for a long time. That person is now standing right in front of me. Ria was grateful for the rescue earlier. You were the one who saved me when I fell from the attic. Right, thank you very much. Bianca was polite. It is nothing, I just did what I needed to do. While saying this, she threw towels at the two children. So, have all your questions been answered? Bianca instructed. Now that we have introduced ourselves, let us get ready for dinner. Both smiled brightly and replied in unison, yes. The door of the room opened, sir. Both dressed magnificently. I have brought the young lady. In the dining room, the table was filled with delicious food. Lucio spoke. I understand. Thank you for your help, Countess. Bianca politely replied. It is nothing, I did not help much. Diana saved a seat and happily called out, sister. Come here, sit next to me. Ria was timid and insecure. Dana, but sister, there is a difference in status. Can I really sit with them and eat? Seeing this, he said, just sit down and eat, yes. The food was laid out in front of her. It looked so delicious. She was happy before the things she wanted. It has been a long time since I had a proper meal. A maid whispered, Countess. Bianca immediately ran over to report, sir, I apologize, I have an urgent report. Lucio still did not know the matter. What is the matter? Eat with us first. She replied, that she must return to the Duke immediately. Bianca was serious. I think I have to return to the Duke's territory immediately. Lucio was surprised, so suddenly she replied, yes, the Duke contacted me through the communication channel. It seems like something urgent has happened. He was sad. I was going to thank you properly when we got to the Duke's mansion, but I guess it can't be helped. Please send my thanks to the Duke for taking the trouble to send you all the way here. Bianca smiled and replied, yes, thank you for understanding me. Ria was suspicious. Bianca is leaving. She was sad. We have not even had much time to talk yet, and now we have to say goodbye. Bianca looked towards her. She spoke, so Ria. Bianca reached out her hand to invite. Would you like to come with me? Ria was shocked and panicked. Me come with you? Lucio was surprised. Countess Marietta, what do you mean? Bianca explained. Just as I said, I want to take her with me. She recalled and explained, at first when I met Ria, I sensed an abundant source of magic and immense magical talent, but because she is not familiar with controlling magic, her body is still being damaged. Currently, she needs someone to guide her to unlock her talent, of course, only if she wants to. Lucio spoke. I do not know why you suddenly said that, but there is no need to worry. There are many mages in the Duke's family who can use mana. He continued to ask, you are not planning to take a citizen of the Empire to the Duke's territory without a legitimate reason, are you? Bianca was surprised. I absolutely do not mean that. She looked over at Ria and asked, Ria, tell us, what do you want to do? Ria hesitated. Outside the inn, where the carriages were rolling. Inside the carriage, Diana was sleeping soundly. Ria was lulling her to sleep. She happily sank into her thoughts. My idol is inviting me along. It feels like a dream, but... Returning to reality, Diana was pulling on Ria's sleeve and shouting no. The little girl hugged her arm tightly and cried. Diana cried even louder. No, you can't go, you can't leave Dana behind. Ria was pained. Dana. She calculated, if I go with Bianca, she will treat me well. I will be able to witness firsthand the abilities that I admire, but... Ria made a decision. Countess, I am sorry, I do not think I can go with you. Bianca was understanding. I see, that is a pity, but it is your decision. She instructed, but if you want to see me again, come to Duke Valus. I often stay at the Duke's castle, so if you mention my name, you will be able to see me. Ria questioned. Duke Valus. She thought to herself, if one day I become stronger than I am now, and if I have enough courage, then I would really like to meet Bianca. Ria remembered when Diana cried. She felt sorry. Perhaps I have become too attached in just a short time. When I saw Dana crying and clinging to me, I did not even think about leaving. Of course, it would be a lie if I said that I was not disappointed, but I also have a responsibility to Jack and Diana. That is not the only reason why I made this decision. Most of the knowledge I have is based on the Empire. If I want to use that knowledge, then staying in the Empire is the best choice. In my previous life, what did all my efforts to be recognized lead to? Ria was being struck by thousands of arrows. Ending the memories of the past. I do not want to repeat the past. I will not live a life bound to others in desperation anymore. Ria looked far ahead. In this life, I will stand firm on my own 2 feet, taking advantage of my abilities and knowledge of the future. She stretched and woke up. I only dozed off for a bit, but it is already morning. Ria was curious. I wonder if the Countess is still on her way back to her territory. She thought to herself again, actually, I do not know much about the Valus territory, only that the Duke would later become Diana's godfather, and he used to be the only Grand Mage of the Empire. And by the time I grow up, his son, the young Duke of Valus, will be even more famous than his father. He is known for his stunning beauty. While thinking, Ria was shocked. It is often said that when he is with Prince Ellard, it is like the sun and moon shining together. She sank into that old memory again. I had never thought about it before, but since I will be staying at the Duke's mansion for a while, sooner or later I will meet that person. The moment I died. He was the last person I saw. Lucio called her. Ria, wake Diana up. Yes. In front of the magnificent mansion full of glory and wealth, a place that everyone wants to enter, a place of wealth and power, we are home. Ria was surprised to the point of gaping. She exclaimed, looking at the gate right in front of me gives a completely different feeling. Alan ran to hug Diana tightly and shouted, Diana. He was so happy that he hugged the little girl tightly. Where have you been? You are finally back, the second son of Duke Ellard, Alan Ellard. All the servants were present, including Diana's mother. She opened her warm arms. Come here. Diana's mother was so happy that she cried, I missed you. The little girl ran and hugged her mother tightly. The two of them burst into tears. Mother. Ria smiled happily for them. So that is the Duchess. I am really happy that Diana has returned to her family. But when will they hand me over to the head butler? Alan looked at her with surprise. He turned and said, Hey, who are you? Ria questioned. Are you talking to me? Alan said uncomfortably. Besides you, who else is there? He said more and more harshly, Why are you clinging to my sister like that? It looks like you followed my sister here with some purpose. Diana stood in front to protect Ria. The little girl angrily shouted, Don't bother my princess, you brat. That shout shocked Alan to the point that he could only say, What? Diana's mother was also panicked. What? Being shouted at by his younger sister shattered Alan's heart to the point that tears flowed like a waterfall. Where did you learn those words from, Diana? What are you saying? Rio remembered the words that the orphanage director often said to the kids. You useless kids. She was a little speechless. You have learned the director's way of speaking. Rio ran over and grabbed Diana's small shoulders and reminded her in a friendly way. Dana, what kind of language is that to talk to your older brother, Dana? The words that the director uses are bad words. You should not repeat them. Lucio's voice cut off the words of the two children. So, it is him again. He wore a serious expression on his face. Actually not very friendly. I will cut off his tongue after making him confess. Rio was panicked when she saw it. He seems very angry. What should I do? It took her several minutes to say. I should have stopped her from hearing it. I am sorry. At this time, a gentle voice rang out, brother. Diana's mother stepped forward and reminded, even after seeing Dana, are you still going to say such things in front of the children? Lucio had to pretend to cough a few times. Ahem, madam. Diana's mother looked down at Rio and gave a gentle smile like soft cotton. I believe that introducing you to this child should be a top priority. Rio was startled because she was called, but she reacted very quickly, answering immediately. Greetings, Duchess. Lucio spoke to introduce her in her stead. I was late in introducing her. Her name is Ria, and I brought her here from the orphanage. She is the one who took good care of Dana during this time. She also helped a lot in the search for Dana. Diana ran over, smiled brightly and hugged Rio, also showing off to her mother, Sister Rio, my princess. Alan froze for dozens of minutes before he could move and say a sentence. Dana, come here. Do you know how long I have been waiting for you? But Dana was fascinated by Rio. The kid just kept looking at Sister Rio. No, my princess. Alan cried without making a sound, freezing in place. She is the one I have to protect. The Duchess looked at Rio happily like a flower blooming. Thank you very much for taking care of our Dana. Leaving Alan aside, crying his eyes out alone with no one caring. How could she? Little Dana actually said that she does not like me, after waiting for her for so long. She does not even know how much I have longed for her. The maids and butlers were all here listening to the Duchess's instructions. Then there is no time to waste. Prepare a meal and rooms for them. Yes, madam. Mother Dana still maintained a beautiful smile looking at everyone. Because today is a happy day and we have a small guest, we must treat them very well. Rio's eyes widened after hearing this. Take care of us, there is no need for that. But before she could finish speaking, she was pushed by the Duchess to the maids standing nearby. Now, while we prepare, bring Ria new clothes to wear. While waiting, Dana, take her on a tour of the castle. The maids were very obedient and followed. Yes, I will do it right away. Rio's face turned pale with fear. Her eyes were also blurred. She cried in her heart for a long time. I did not come here as a guest to be treated like this. Following the little girl Dana, she just kept chattering, Sister, come in. Rio looked everywhere. Everything was unfamiliar. Is this a room? Is not it a house? Hear this. Diana brought some book to Rio, smiling brightly. Read it, princess. Rio picked up the book and looked at it. Rio asked, a fairy tale book. Is this Dana's favorite book? Diana nodded repeatedly. Yes, then sister, read it to me, okay? Rio also happily picked up the book and opened it. Okay. And because the maids are here, this is a good opportunity. If I prove that I can read, maybe they will allow me to stay with Dana. Okay, I will read it to you, Dana. Right at this moment, the Duchess came in from outside. Is everyone ready yet? Are you going to read a book? Diana quickly answered for Sister Rio. She seemed very happy. Yes, Princess is going to read to Princess. But the Duchess had to apologize to her little daughter. I am sorry, Dana. But Princess needs to go somewhere with mommy for a while. We can read it after we are done. Okay, Diana opened her eyes wide, her milk teeth showed. Dana also wants to go. The Duchess shook her head. I really want to take you along, but... She started to think of something to lure the kids so that you and Princess can play together today. We need to decorate the room a bit. Now, is not it a little simple for Princess to play in it? Diana was a very easy child to lure. She now believed it completely and no longer wanted to go along, but enthusiastically wanted to stay in the room. I will decorate it while the two of you are away. Okay, I will trust you. After that, the Duchess grabbed Rio's hand. Now, when we are allowed. Her smile was kind and compassionate, like a real warm ray of sunshine. Come here with me for a moment, Ria. Rio opened her eyes wide and listened. Yes. The two of them, one big and one small, followed each other down the hallway. Rio was uneasy in her heart. But why did she suddenly just take me somewhere? Her hands clenched. Fear surrounded her again. No way. Words like daggers suddenly appeared in her mind. Even though I help save her daughter, I come from a low-class family. Maybe they will separate me from Dana. Arriving at a room, the Duchess said, "We are here." She always spoke gently and softly. Don't worry, there is nothing to be afraid of. A voice rang out from inside. You have arrived. That person was already standing inside waiting for them, and even smiled when she saw Rio. It is nice to meet you. Are you Ria? She stepped forward, gave a bright smile, and held out her hand to Rio. Countess Marietta sent me a letter. She specifically requested that I heal your scars. Rio heard the Countess's name and could not help but say, Countess, I thought she was just saying that, but she actually invited me here. That gentle sister grabbed Rio's hand, and even said with a smile, Okay, let me take a look at the wound first, okay? On Rio's hand, there was still a very clear scar. Oh my, this must have been very painful. Then she raised her hand to pat Rio's head to comfort her. But do not worry, this will end quickly without any pain. Some strange light was emitted, shining all over the room. It seemed like she was using magic to heal Rio. Suddenly, that gentle sister opened her eyes wide. Diana's mother next to her also panicked and looked at her. What is wrong? That gentle sister stammered. This is. She said a word that was extremely shocking to little Rio. The little girl opened her eyes wide to accept the painful truth. The divine power of God has no effect on her. That gentle sister withdrew her hand from Rio's head, asking herself, why is that? Is there a reason? I do not know. This is the first time something like this has happened to me, however. Rio and Diana's mother were both sitting on a bench to listen to her speak. The only thing I can say is that I cannot heal her. Diana's mother's eyes were a little sad, but she still tried to comfort the little child next to her. Ria, it is okay. The Duke's family has mages who specialize in healing magic. We will definitely find a way. Do not be too discouraged. Rio also knew. The kid smiled and replied, It is okay, Duchess, please do not worry. But in fact, underneath, the small hands had already clenched each other, gripping tightly, showing that the little one was scared, not comfortable. Not being able to remove the scar is not a big problem, but for a royal citizen who must have been blessed since birth, not being able to use divine power, that is a much bigger problem. The kid sat quietly in a corner, her eyes constantly looking into the distance, thinking wildly alone. Could it be that the director was right, and there is something wrong with me? At this time, the Duchess spoke to call Ria. Rio turned back immediately. Yes, something was put in her mouth. Rio's eyes lit up. She really liked it. Sweet. Chocolate. Diana's mother again smiled kindly and asked little Rio, How is it? This is a kind of magic medicine to help you feel better. She looked like an angel. Do you feel a little better? Rio suddenly froze. I remember. She remembered some past, also a sweet candy, the Duchess's kindness. That person also said to Rio like that. How do you feel now? Do you feel a little better? Who did he get this from? Rio broke free from her thoughts, only to see the Duchess smiling and saying, I feel much better now, thank you. The Duchess smiled so wide Diana really resembled her. Wonderful, then let us go eat. Rio nodded. Yes, madam. Rio walked behind, constantly looking at the back of the Duchess. It is unbelievable. Someone is actually kind to a child like me. She really is a wonderful person. Unexpectedly at the dining table, they immediately met the miserable face of Alan, who was already sitting there. That little guy just kept looking at Rio with eyes full of lightning. But gatherings like this are really too much for me. Duchess, Diana was still smiling. Sister. Alan could not stand it anymore and opened his mouth to ask in a curt tone. Hey, why are you sitting there between Dana and me? Diana did not hear or know anything, picking up meat and bringing it to Rio's mouth. Sister, eat this. Alan blocked the kid's mouth. I do not want to eat with her. But Diana did not care about the other person's opinion, just kept picking up this and that for Rio. Sister, this too, it feels like I am about to die. Alan sat turning his face to one side, not bothering to glance at anyone while speaking sarcastically, just eating without any awareness. Diana heard it and angrily turned to point directly at him. Don't bother my sister. For the first time in his life, Alan was spoken to loudly by the kid. The crisis in his heart was really big. Dana. Alan stood up abruptly, slamming the table hard. You really do not understand me. After that, he even shed tears, leaving Dana. I hate you. Rio sat quietly, not knowing what to do. What is going on? Rio was exhausted, only humming and hawing a few times, then facing the Duchess and saying, I am sorry, madam, because of me, young master. Who knew that the Duchess was still smiling as always, and did not blame the little girl. I am the one who should apologize for letting you see this side of him. Alan is still young, so he is very shy, I hope you understand. She also told some of Alan's bad habits. He still refuses to eat vegetables, and a boy at his age still hugs a doll when he sleeps. And recently, Rio could not listen anymore. She was really shocked by this noble family. I did not expect to hear such things about the future swordsman who would shock the empire. The Duchess pushed the cake in front of Rio and told her, Don't mind Alan, just enjoy your meal, also try this, Ria. Rio looked at the cake, not knowing what to say. Clasping her hand, she replied, I am sorry, madam, I am too full. The Duchess was a little panicked, but you have not even eaten half of Diana's portion. Speaking of this, Rio unconsciously reached out to rub her stomach. Back in the orphanage, I always felt hungry, so my stomach was not very healthy, but today, perhaps because the food was so delicious, I ate too much. Who knew that in the next second the Duchess would scare her like this? If you eat so little, you will always be so small. Diana might surpass you, and even Diana added, That is right, eat more, sister. Rio had no choice but to pick up a fork and poke at the cake, then perhaps just a little dessert. The Duchess was happy again. Absolutely everyone knows that there is a separate stomach for dessert. Rio suddenly stood up, making the other two look at her with wide eyes. It turned out that it was because the little girl ate so deliciously that she was momentarily excited. It is so delicious. The Duchess sighed in relief. That is right, our chef makes the most amazing cakes. Diana brought more cake to her. Eat more, sister, this too. Rio could not help but eat several more bites. The cake is wonderful, but... The little girl thought of the scene like a dream of heaven. This moment, eating delicious food with kind people, is the happiest moment I have ever had. Meanwhile, Alan was sitting in a corner outside. I am so hungry. The next morning, the Duchess was standing instructing the servants, we should expand this area a little more, and also rearrange the furniture. At this time, Diana called loudly from inside, Mom. The little girl's face rushed over in a panic. Then she hugged her mother. The Duchess comforted, Diana, what is wrong? Why are you in such a hurry? Diana was scared, as if she was about to cry, unable to speak. Sister, Rio is really sick. The doctor quickly arrived at their place. Rio was lying unconscious on the bed. The doctor told the other two the situation. She has a fever. It is because her body has relaxed after a period of stress. She will rest well. In addition, she has a weak stomach, so you need to be careful with meals. Oh no. The Duchess really felt very guilty. I am so sorry, Ria, I should have been more careful. Someone came to announce, Madam, the chief mage has arrived. As soon as she mentioned it, someone came in. The Duchess greeted. Oh my, Tellen, please come in. Tellen came over and nodded. Greetings, Duchess, I heard that you requested the use of healing magic. The Duchess nodded. I want to ask you to treat the wounds of this child. Tellen nodded and went to Rio's place. Let me see. Ah, a scar. The Duchess nodded and recounted it to him. Can it be treated with magic? It is strange, divine power is not effective, so I rushed to call you. Tellen listened with interest, and immediately explained to the Duchess, if someone possesses an extremely high level of mana, divine power may not be compatible with them. Since I can sense the child's mana, it seems to be the case with her. Course, to be sure. As soon as he said it, he started checking for Rio. I will need to examine her after treatment. It did not take long. The Duchess shouted, the scar has disappeared. The two of them happily looked at Tellen. Thank you, Tellen, as I expected. Who knew? Tellen called her with an unclear expression. Madam. Where you found this child first, right? A few days later, someone reported to her, Duchess. Duke Ellard has returned. The Duchess went out to greet the person. Duke, you have returned safely. Lucio nodded and went to her. And you have also worked hard. I am sorry for leaving you with the children while being so busy. The Duchess said softly, it is okay, Tellen, there are many things to deal with related to the orphanage. The Duke took off his coat and asked, how is Ria? Her fever went down last night. Oh, and Tellen stopped by and healed her scar. It has completely disappeared. What a relief. Lucio adjusted his collar and looked at her. Speaking of which, it is really strange. Divine power is not effective, but Tellen's magic is. The Duchess nodded. That is what I was going to explain. It seems that if someone has extremely pure mana, divine power may not be compatible with them. Suddenly Lucio hesitated. So that means her body also. Making the Duchess remember how hard she worked yesterday, Tellen almost shouted that Ria had a huge amount of mana. Duchess, this is a huge amount of magical power. Bring this child to my laboratory immediately. Calming down Tellen, it was difficult for her to stop him from eagerly taking the child to do experiments. Lucio lowered his eyes. I understand. The two of them went into the room together. Lucio suddenly asked, what do you think about what? He turned to look at her. That child, do you think she can be by Dana's side? The Duchess lowered her head, her voice became much softer. I have not known her for long, but she seems to be a good child. She is gentle, considerate, and although she is sick, she has never complained once. As she spoke, she remembered some figure. I think I understand why Countess Marietta is so worried about her. She must have seen herself in her, remembering the trauma of her childhood. While speaking, she suddenly stopped and opened her eyes wide in panic. Oh no, I almost forgot. Then she was about to quickly go out to find the two children. I need to go now. I have left the sick child alone for too long. The Duke looked towards the door that was not closed and then said, No, you do not need to. His eyes looked straight at the child who had been standing here for who knows how long. I do not think you need to go anywhere. Outside was Ria standing looking at them. The Duchess was a little surprised, oh my. She went in front of Ria and then asked the kid, Ria, when did you wake up? Ria's face had changed completely. She was still the same lovely face as ever. Hello, Duchess. The Duchess also clasped her hands in front like the kid and asked, Why did you come here? You must have been surprised to wake up and not see anyone. Have you been allowed to walk around here like this? How do you feel? Yes. Lucio came from behind and stared at Ria. What do you want to see me for? Ria was a little scared when she was called directly. I have something to say to you. The Duke frowned slightly. What is the matter that you want to say as soon as you wake up? Come in. The Duchess looked at the kid and then patted her shoulder gently. You just woke up, are not you tired? Come inside and talk quickly. I will wait in the room, okay? Ria smiled. Yes, thank you, Duchess. Inside, the Duke pointed to a chair for Ria. Sit down. I also have something to say to you. Ria went to sit in the chair. Her eyes widened looking at the big Duke in front of her. To me, is it about arranging a place for me to live? Lucio looked straight at the kid without beating around the bush. Thanks to the orphanage director's notebook that you presented, we were able to arrest all the nobles and merchants involved in the slave trade ring. With this authentic evidence, they will face appropriate punishment. Hearing this, Ria could not help but feel anxious. The kid thought of her friend. What about Jack? My friend, the one who was injured before, is he okay now? Lucio nodded. Yes, he is awake. His condition has also been fully restored. Both sides fell into a silent space. Seeing that Ria did not say anything more, Lucio continued. He said he will visit the Duke's mansion soon. Ria was still busy thinking to herself, are these things really talking about Jack? Ria stood up suddenly and said to Lucio some very eloquent words. Jack will become an excellent knight. It seemed that she had not had anyone to confide in about her pride in her friend for a long time. She released a barrage that made Lucio freeze. He is the tallest and strongest in the orphanage. He practices every day without making any mistakes, and even when the director hits him, he is the one who can endure the longest. Also, I rarely see him cry. If you see him, you will understand right away. This made Lucio laugh. Then he also reassured the little girl, don't worry, I will pay attention. Thank you. More importantly, what do you want to do? Ria did not understand Lucio's intention. What? Lucio said something that made Ria, who was excited, stand still without moving. From now on, I have only been talking about other people. I want to ask about you. What do you want to do? Again, those tiny hands clenched together, gripping tightly, showing that the kid was scared, uncomfortable. Me, what do I want to do? Has anyone ever asked me that? Ria had difficulty saying a sentence. I like taking care of Diana. Lucio did not pay much attention to that answer of the little girl. You must have heard about you having magic from Countess Marietta. The mage in charge of treatment said that your magic is quite pure and abundant. Thanks to that, healing magic is more effective. Maybe you do not understand everything at this age, but possessing magic means that you have unlimited potential. However, it is very difficult to be able to control it yourself. You will need help. Speaking of which, Lucio reached out his hand, wanting the little girl to agree and trust him. There were many talented mages in the Duke's family, and if she wanted, she could become a mage, but she would also need to learn some other things. The last sentence, an assurance spoken before Ria's astonishment. I will sponsor you. Contrary to the answers Lucio had prepared in his head, Ria asked this. What if I refuse? Will you send me back to the orphanage like the other children? Ria lowered her head, looking down at her toes. I just want to be a maid. Ria clenched her hands. She understood everything, but she knew that she was rejecting a very generous offer. But there was no other choice. Being sponsored by a noble also meant being bound to the family, which would go against her biggest plan, which was to one day leave here and live a free life. The little girl bit her lip, thinking of her friend. But now, the top priority was to find a place for Jack to stay. Seeing the Duke silent for so long, Ria was very worried and tried to say more to convince him. I can take good care of Diana, the young lady. I can take care of her meals, clean her bed and read books to her. I am also very good at cleaning. I do this every day at the orphanage. Lucio could only sigh after hearing that. Not wanting to make things difficult for a child, Lucio nodded. All right, just do as you wish. Ria's smile finally returned to her face. Thank you very much. Having achieved her goal, the happy little girl wanted to leave. I will go back to my room now. Please take care of your health. The little girl ran straight out into the hallway, again lost in her own thoughts. Even though everything was going according to plan, why did she still feel uneasy? No, I do not want to rely on others, only to go through the pain again. She accidentally bumped into someone, causing her to fall to the ground before she could react. Ria cried out in pain, but Alan's hateful voice rang out instead. What are you doing? The boy still looked at her with a hateful gaze. Why are you coming out of my father's study? Ria tried to stand up and dust herself off. Well, it is hard to say. Alan did not know what was going on again. His hot-tempered self still tightly grabbed Ria's shoulder and shouted, Are not you satisfied with me, Diana, and my mother? Then suddenly the boy let go of Ria. Why are your hands so skinny? The last two words he kept in his heart without saying them. Ria did not understand. Alan hated and did not want to argue with the skinny girl. Whatever, do not think that just because Diana treats you well, you have the right to be arrogant. Alan changed the subject. More importantly, where are you going in such a hurry? Do you have something urgent? Are you ignoring the question? I am not someone who is easily fooled. Ria scratched her head and smiled stupidly. I am on my way to meet my friend. He is about to arrive at the Duke's mansion. Ria thought to herself, I have to betray you this time. Alan had no reservations and said bluntly, Friend, you have friends. Ria laughed so hard that she could barely stand it, twitching her lips to reply, Of course, we have known each other since we were at the orphanage. He helped a lot to rescue Lady Diana. He is very diligent and has all the qualities needed of a knight. Suddenly Alan became quieter than usual, staring at Ria, and then raised his hand. The boy adjusted Ria's hair, making her bewildered. Alan even explained, Your hair is messy. Ria panicked and stepped back. Yes, thank you. What was that all of a sudden? Alan laughed. Why are you startled? Did you see a ghost or something? At this time a pair of legs came walking. That person came closer and called out to the little girl Ria. Jack stepped forward and smiled at Ria. Long time no see, Ria, are you feeling better? Ria was as happy as if she had met an angel, rushing towards him and calling out loudly, Jack. The little girl looked back and forth at her friend, asking all sorts of questions. Are you okay? Does anything still hurt? Oh, that is right. Took her a few seconds to realize. Oh no, I think I am being too friendly all of a sudden. To avoid embarrassment, she changed the subject. It was not easy to get here, was it? Suddenly, Alan reached out and touched Ria's shoulder. The boy looked at the tall boy and called out, Hey, is this your friend? Jack also stared at Alan, then looked at Alan's hand on Ria's shoulder. His eyebrows furrowed even more. Little Ria did not know anything, just kept calling her friend's name, Jack. He must have heard about the Duke's family and Alan, so why is he still being so hostile? The little girl also remembered the past life connection between these two people. Besides, in their previous life they were best friends. Ria gave herself a reasonable excuse. Children growing up and arguing must be normal, right? Then she opened her mouth to speak again. Jack, why did you come here? If you want, let me show you around. Suddenly Alan interrupted with that rude attitude. How unreasonable. Taze came from behind. Hello, young Master Alan. When Alan saw the person coming, he started spouting nonsense again. You can't even protect Diana properly. Are not you ashamed? Get rid of the thought of trying to curry favor with my family again. The more he said, the more energetic he became, even to the point of being excessive. As expected, just like the master said, commoners do not know what shame is. Ria, who was beside him, also wanted to stop him. Young master. Taze bowed his head to admit his mistake. Yes, it is all my fault. His face was extremely sincere as he spoke the words in his heart, so even if the young master criticizes me, I will endure it all. Hearing these words did not make Alan happy at all. He even gritted his teeth. Then he turned and left. Damn it. Ria's small hands clenched again. The little girl was blaming herself again. That was a bit too much. However, I know how much Alan cares about Diana. Maybe it is better not to hold him back now. Sid, who did not know where he came from, looked at Taze and sneered. Are you upset? Ria looked at the two of them as if they were mortal enemies. Who is this, with such a big appearance? He is probably a knight. Sid still did not look at them, just kept mocking Taze. I am right, are not I? Sid continued to taunt without wanting to stop, following the Duke's orders. There is no other way but to let you off. With your crime, even cutting off all your limbs would not be enough to compensate. But you were only imprisoned for a few days. Don't you think you are too shameless? Taze pursed his lips for a moment before speaking out in resistance. You think so? Sid frowned. What? Taze calmly responded to the rude person in front of him. It is true that I was negligent in performing my duties, but you do not have anything to be proud of either, Vice Captain. Sid was very angry when he was blamed in return, rushing up to grab Taze's collar. You bastard. Who do you think you are to dare to talk back to me? Ria, who had been standing on the side, had heard the whole conversation between the two. There is nothing to be proud of. There must be a hidden meaning in that sentence. There may still be many mysteries surrounding Diana's disappearance. Taze felt that talking to this guy was hopeless and wanted to end it here. Enough, we are in front of the children. Sid noticed the two little ones behind him at this time. The children, really, I am so horrified that I can't speak. He walked over and pointed his finger at Jack's head. Hey kid. He gave up on Taze but now turned to attack Jack. You are lucky to join the Knights only because the Duke is kind, so do not daydream. Grabbing things, cleaning. Your whole life will only be spent doing the work you have been doing for so long. You will always just be a servant. How could Taze stand by and watch? He stepped forward and separated him from Jack. Vice Captain, please stop, he is just a child. Sid sneered again. That face will never stop being hateful. How close are you that you dare to stand up against your superior to protect him? How touching. After provoking enough, he turned and left. Enough, I do not want to waste time with those who do not know their place. It is really an eyesore. The three of them watched as the figure of that man walked further and further away. Then Taze turned to ask the two little ones, Kid, are you okay? Sorry for letting you witness something like this. Rhea quickly waved her hand. Oh no, I am fine. Taze went to the side and put his hand on Jack's shoulder. All right, we have to go greet the Duke. We will go first. Wish you a good day. She had not even said a word to Jack yet. Rhea sadly watched her friend leave. The little girl pursed her lips tightly. Finally, she was able to muster all her strength to say, Sir. The little girl, with a face that was far from her age, seriously asked about the previous matter. If you do not mind, can you tell me why the vice captain acted like that? However, Taze did not mind telling her that day. He should have been the one responsible for escorting the young lady as usual. But in the morning, the vice captain said that he had been removed from the escort team this time. He thought it was just a simple change of schedule, but because he had a feeling that something was wrong, he followed and demanded to escort her to the town, even though it was late. When he arrived, the young lady had already disappeared. Rhea understood immediately and said fairly, then it was not your fault. The little girl excitedly said a long string of words. The vice captain of the election Knights lied. It is unbelievable. Jack looked at Taze and said softly, are you sure you did not make a mistake anywhere? Rhea wanted to faint on the spot after hearing that. Jack, what are you saying? Taze nodded firmly. I swear that would never happen. The vice captain, no, maybe I should not tell you kids this, but he used to be a mercenary and participated in wars, once gaining the attention of the Duke for discovering the enemy's trap. And since that day, he has become the target of the vice captain, who used to pride himself on being the Duke's confidant. Taze's voice became sadder and slower as he spoke. Joining the election Knights was the happiest thing for him. But lately, he has been wondering if he should continue to be a knight or not. It seems the vice captain was right. He is not suitable to be an honorable knight. Rhea wanted to explode after hearing that. The little girl screamed, wanting the other person to wake up. What are you thinking? The person who is not suitable to be a knight is not you, but that scum. Knowing that she had said too much, Rhea immediately scratched her head and smiled apologetically before continuing. Anyway, he is the one who should feel ashamed, not you. Don't say things like that again. More importantly, why did not you tell the Duke about this important information? Taze explained. He did not want to cause discord. The vice captain came from a family that had served the Duke's family for generations, so he did not want to make him feel embarrassed. Rhea did not agree with being silent like that. This is a dangerous way to do things, but if you really care about the Duke, you should tell him. How dangerous would it be to keep a scheming person by his side? Taze had no choice but to shake his head. No one would ever believe the words of a knight with a commoner background like him. And he did not have any evidence either. These words hit Rhea deep inside. The little girl's eyes widened. Finally, Taze slowly said, sorry, but please understand. Rhea suddenly said no. The little girl smiled again. In the sunlight, she really looked like a little angel. You have your own circumstances. I am the one who is too arrogant. The little girl bowed deeply and then muttered, thinking of the culprit who harmed Diana right in front of me makes me feel very angry. Please forgive my rudeness. Taze was stunned. Rude, I completely understand your feelings. Rhea turned to leave. Well then, I still have things to do. I will go first. You and Jack should go see the Duke soon. Jack could tell that Rhea's expression was very strange and wanted to call her back. Rhea. Only Taze seemed to understand something. Sorry for being so incompetent. This long, winding corridor just kept getting longer and longer. Rhea kept running without end. The little girl suppressed her panting from running too hard. Her face flushed as she muttered to herself, why does everyone give up so quickly? I can't understand it. Remembering the scene from before and thinking about how Jack was being treated even worse than a servant in the Knights, is that how commoners have to be treated? While Jack was enduring humiliation, she was living in the luxurious Duke's mansion without knowing anything. The little girl stopped and leaned against the wall to stand firm. Can't give up like this. Thinking of Sid's evil face made Rhea feel disgusted. If she let things continue, he would continue to be by Diana's side. Collect evidence of the vice captain's wrongdoings. Rhea made a bold decision. Now that is the first task she needs to complete. Before long, a new day had passed. A maid's voice rang out, "Rhea, come here and help me with something." Rhea happily went over. "Yes, I am coming." "Good morning, you are full of energy today too, are not you? I need to take some things to the training ground if you do not mind." "Sure, I will go." The older sister even reached out and patted her head. "Thank you so much, you are such a good girl." Thus, in the first few days of being a maid, the little girl was liked by everyone. "Rhea, good morning, Sister Marcia." "Rhea, can you come here for a moment?" "Yes, sister, I am coming right away." "Do well, Rhea, have a good day, you too, sister." The maids even laughed and talked about Rhea, that Rhea has not been here for long, but she is so kind and friendly, right? At this age, even just standing still is cute, but she still works so hard. It is admirable. Rhea alone was a completely different person. She was quiet, her true self, walking and thinking. A week has passed since she became a maid for the Duke's family. This job suits her and everyone is very friendly, so it is easy to adapt. Above all, one of the reasons why being a maid is so convenient is, suddenly a powerful voice rang out, "Hey, Rhea." It was a sister who was smiling at her. "Are you ignoring me?" "Of course not, sister." She gave Rhea a bag full of goodies. "Here, take it, it is freshly baked apple pie, thank you." Rhea took the pie and hesitated. "Anyway, Sister Anya, there is something I want to—" Anya looked at the little girl with some curiosity. "Oh, what is it?" Rhea carefully put her ear close to Anya's and whispered, "Do you know anything about Vice Captain Valerie?" The Valerie family. They have played a central role in the election nights for many generations. The current head of the family, Count Valerie, is a powerful figure who even sits on the Duke's Council of Elders. Sid, who always thinks he is the greatest in the family, would automatically see a former mercenary with a commoner background suddenly appearing as a thorn in his side. Hearing this, Rhea immediately understood the problem. Furthermore, the biggest problem is that he is also the sword instructor for young Master Alan, so is that why he inherited that difficult personality from him? Rhea thought about what happened to her friend the other day. How can a teacher treat Jack like that? Diana, who was next to her, shouted loudly, "Mom." The little girl saw the Duke and Duchess coming. "Diana, Rhea, are you well?" Rhea stood up straight in a corner and greeted them happily, while Diana had already jumped into her mother's arms. "Welcome back, Duchess." "Yes, Rhea, is everything all right?" Duke Lucio picked up Diana and smiled as he looked at the little girl. "Diana, are not you happy to see your father?" Diana hugged her father, even knowing how to act cute. "Books, read books to me." The Duke rarely showed such a gentle expression, smiling especially more when looking at his daughter. "All right, what book shall we read today?" Only Rhea stood outside and watched all these scenes. The little girl was staring blankly at the happy scene when the Duchess spoke. Rhea. Rhea was immediately startled. "Oh yes, Duchess." The Duchess did not understand what the little girl was doing, so she went over to ask, "Are you worried about something? Why are you standing there blankly?" Rhea tried to put it into words. "Oh no, it is nothing, it is just..." The little girl was standing there smiling and then found a reason to leave. "Someone called me to the training ground just now. Can I leave for a moment?" The Duchess naturally agreed. "Of course, go ahead, be careful." The little girl ran out quickly. "Yes, I am going." Looking at the little girl's disappearing figure, the Duchess could not help but call out, "Rhea." Rhea walked along the corridor outside. She started thinking about some things she needed to do. First, she needed to discuss what she had gathered with Uncle and Jack. If she continued to persuade him, Uncle would understand. She had not gone far when she heard a scuffle ahead. "You bastard. Who allowed you to touch our wooden swords?" Rhea's pupils widened. "Wait. That is Jack." The others seemed to be bullying Jack, while he just stood there alone with no one to help. "Sir Valerie has already said, even if we have different origins, you can't become a knight like us. Who would dare to take someone like you as a disciple? Maybe Taze, the one who used to be a mercenary." The guy kept laughing and talking. "What are you looking at? Want to cause trouble? If words do not work, you want to use your fists, this audacious brat." Jack was knocked down on the spot. It hurt a lot. The guy did not want to let him off, still wanting to continue. "Let us teach this shameless guy a lesson." At this moment, Rhea ran over to help Jack up. Jack was not surprised to see Rhea. "Why did you come here again?" Rhea wanted to shout at him. "Because I knew something like this would happen." The guy did not even bother to look at them, continuing to fold his arms and laugh. "What now? Another piece of trash." Rhea stood up, wanting to reason. "That is despicable. Why gang up on one person? Do you really think you can become honorable knights by acting like this?" Although the little girl was small, her mind was not. Words poured out like a speech. "What about Taze?" Sir Taze Sedian was personally recognized by the Duke and even granted a title and mansion. "Now you are disrespecting the Duke." The others immediately wanted to shrink into a ball. "We did not." However, the ringleader was still very stubborn. "He is just from a common background, a mercenary who kills for money." He pointed at the little girl and the little girl also pointed back, even though the smaller stature looked a little funny. "So what? Is there a law that says commoners or mercenaries can't become knights?" Ria was sure that the guy would shut up. How could he argue? Of course there was not any such law. Unlike nobles, swordsmanship has been part of their education since childhood. Commoners are busy struggling to make a living to provide for their careers. Simply put, they do not have the opportunity from the start. Knowing that she would win, Ria gave a cunning smile and pointed at the tall guy. Hitting him would only dirty my hands. If you dream of becoming a knight, first learn how to be a person. You will never catch up to Jack anyway, hey. At this moment, Alan came over from somewhere. What is going on here? Seeing their protector arrive, the guys immediately started complaining. Young master, this little girl insulted us, insulted the future seedlings of the Lection Knights. She said we will never catch up to a lowly orphan, and even said that hitting us would only dirty her hands. Ria wanted to curse when she heard that. Seriously, this is what they do. These idiots have not woken up and are still tattling. Alan looked at Ria after hearing this. Is what they are saying true? Ria was not afraid of anything, proudly pointing at herself, puffing out her chest. Yeah, that is right. They are not even worth punching once. After she said that, the entire training ground went silent. However, Ria was not embarrassed at all, continuing to say, don't believe me, I will show you right now. The biggest guy stepped forward. The red-haired guy looked confused. Me. Ria continued, if it is just that, it is too boring. Young master, if I win, can you grant me a wish? Alan did not understand anything and just asked blankly. Huh, why suddenly? Ria looked at the red-haired guy and asked, are you planning to fight barehanded? If you want, just use a wooden sword. The red-haired guy scoffed. What are you trying to show here? What kind of scene is this in front of them? A little girl smaller than the guy, wanting to fight barehanded against someone with a wooden sword. Jack immediately wanted to stop her, worried. Ria, what are you doing? Let me. Ria gestured for him not to come forward. No, Jack, I dare to say it, so I dare to do it. The red-haired guy looked at the little girl. You're going to fight without weapons. Ria smiled. Yeah, it is more comfortable barehanded. Ria suddenly changed her mind. But that would be a little unseemly. The little girl took out a beautiful comb from her pocket and twirled it in her hand. Just this is enough. Alan's face paled, his hand trembling as he pointed at what she was holding. What exactly is that? Ria held the comb, smiling brightly. This is the young lady's hair comb. The guy gaped, an unbelievable look on his face. That is not what I am asking. Are you really going to fight with that? She replied with a smile. Yes, really, I am always serious. She said that with those skinny wrists. He pinched a kid's ear. Hey, come here. Yes. He glared, his voice cold and threatening. Don't hurt that little girl. Got it. The kid was terrified, stammering. Huh, what do you mean? He scolded angrily. Use your head, use your head. He approached Ria not far away, in Alan's voice. Okay, go back to your position. He looked at her a little nervously. Both of you have to stop as soon as I give the order. Got it. She gave a bright smile. Don't worry, let us start. He was a little worried. Okay, get ready. He sweated, looking at her nervously. Start. Ria smiled confidently. He raised his sword, smiling smugly. You audacious little brat, I will teach you a lesson. He looked at her, smiling contemptuously. Scared? I will make the first move. In the blink of an eye, she appeared in front of him, holding the comb and hitting him in the face. A scratch appeared on his face. Jack was startled and horrified. Alan was dumbfounded. The atmosphere in the training ground suddenly became unusually quiet. Alan stammered. Impossible, it was just luck, right? A voice rang out. Young master. He made a softer sound. Her cheeks were flushed, looking at him excitedly. I won, so you will keep your promise, right? She looked up and saw a bare, dry branch lying there. She touched the ground and muttered strange sounds. The dead, dry branch suddenly sprouted countless new buds. She smiled happily. Okay, this is as easy as pie. She remembered the day she discovered this place. This is a desolate, forgotten garden behind the Duke's mansion. Oh my God, where is this? She accidentally discovered it while doing chores. A blue light emanated from her hand. Since coming to the Duke's mansion, my physical strength has improved enough to start practicing magic. There is no place more suitable to practice. Footsteps sounded and a voice rang out behind her, drawing her attention. Who are you? Don't tell me. Sid looked at her coldly. Did you use the young master to lure me here? She stood up, looking unhappy. Yes, I asked him for help. He frowned, looking contemptuous. You cunning little brat. You happily enjoy wealth and glory while manipulating Lady Diana. You should be grateful to the young lady for the rest of your life. He glared when he heard her sarcastic voice. If what you say is true, I should thank you instead of the young lady. She folded her arms, smiling smugly. If it were not for you, how could I have met her? He looked at her angrily. What are you talking about? She smiled softly. I heard everything. Hearing her words, his face paled, including you lying to Sir Cedian about changing his shift. She smiled provocatively. Wasn't that crossing the line, gambling with a young lady's safety just to get rid of Sir Cedian? He retorted angrily, nonsense. You rude thing, you are a blatant liar. He pointed at her face, threatening, you are trying to threaten me without evidence. Are you tired of living? So, are you saying that what I said is a lie? The two people's conversation reached a dead end. That is right, even if it is true, who would believe your words or Tay's words? Whether or not to believe it is up to the Duke to decide. You lowly bitch, how dare you? He grabbed her collar, yelling angrily. Trash, like you should be grateful for the scraps we give you. The sound of high heels rang out. Diana's mother appeared in the distance. Enough, Sir Valerie. She looked at him unhappily. What do you think you are doing? He hurriedly pushed Rhea away, causing her to fall to the ground, madam. He smiled nervously at her. It is not what you think, said Valerie. Lucio appeared behind his wife, looking at him sternly. Don't bother explaining. His face turned pale, stammering, Duke. She looked worried, hurriedly helping Rhea up. Rhea, are you okay? She smiled weakly. Yes, Duchess, I am fine. She thought happily. Good, everything has gone according to plan. At the tea table, her clear voice rang out, madam, while taking a walk, I saw new buds growing in the back garden. She smiled happily. Oh my, really, the ground must still be frozen. Rhea smiled, squinting her eyes. Spring must be coming early this year. She looked at the backs of the Duke and Duchess holding hands. The Duchess often takes the Duke, who is always busy, for walks at fixed times, to help him relax from his responsibilities. I am sure that if I sow an interesting topic, they will definitely pass this way. Sid knelt in front of the Duke in a panic. Things did not go as planned. I was ready to report directly to the Duke. Duke, no, that Tay's guy set a trap to frame me. He hurriedly said, I can explain everything. A voice rang out behind him. If this is a trap, did Sir Cedian also force you to buy the Pyrian mine? Rhea retorted angrily. Sir Cedian does not even know the budget of the election nights. He looked at her in horror. How do you know that? The Duke gave a stern order. All right. Immediately arrest Vice Captain Valerie. Lucio looked at him coldly. We will decide his punishment later. Alan looked at the scene in horror, Sid's pleading voice echoing in the space. No, Duke, please give me a chance. He covered his mouth, wondering what on earth is going on. The scene changed to Alan interrogating Rhea. So, what is the wish that you crave so much that you cause so much commotion for? Let us see. She looked at him seriously. Please let me meet Vice Captain Sid. She pretended to be innocent. Isn't the Vice Captain your mentor, young master, if this request is difficult? He hurriedly interrupted her. No, that is as easy as pie, but that is not the problem. He looked at her suspiciously. What exactly do you need from my master? I can't explain it now. He paled when he heard her playful voice. Besides, you promised to fulfill my wish, did not you? Could it be that the Duke's second son will go back on his word? He rubbed his head, looking at her dejectedly. All right, I understand. It is not a big deal, I will talk to my master. She smiled happily. Thank you, young master. He was a little suspicious. I said that because of the promise, but I can't understand it. He remembered the scene of his teacher being dragged away by the soldiers. So I just hid at the meeting point to observe, Duke. He shouted loudly, it is all a lie. The madam looked at her husband worriedly. Honey, I will take Rhea away first. I think she needs to calm down. He replied gently, okay, you do that. She looked at Rhea. Let us go, Rhea. Alan looked at this scene. Many emotions intertwined in his heart. Mother. She and Rhea walked down the hallway of the mansion. She called her name softly, Rhea. Her expression was full of worry. I won't ask for details about what happened. She took Rhea's hand. But I want to scold you for acting so recklessly. She sat down with Rhea, eye to eye. You won't do that again, will you? Rhea's eyes were full of affection. No, madam, I am sorry for making you worry. She pondered a little nervously. I am glad I could take some of the burden off thanks to this matter. Because I know the future of both the Valerie and Allard families. She remembered the scene of being surrounded by books and articles. In my previous life, I was adopted by my master when I was 10. To prove my worth, I learned everything from stealth and martial arts to magic. When I learned to read, I devoured every newspaper and report in the guild. Sid's image appeared in the newspaper. It was then that I accidentally discovered about the Earl Valerie family deceiving the Duke's family. They received money for work. More precisely, it was about the Earl Valerie family being brought to trial. Lucio and the madam had to face many difficulties. To make matters worse, diamonds were discovered in the Pyrian mine, which was purchased with embezzled funds. Amid countless bribes and lobbying, the Allard Duke family had to continue the trial with myriad difficulties. She smiled gently, however, because I knew in advance that something would be exposed after 2 years. If I solve it now, we can avoid unnecessary troubles. She was lost in thought. This should be enough to repay the kindness that the Duke's family has shown me. She took Rhea's hand and led her away. Then, come with me, Rhea. She wondered, excuse me, where are we going? She smiled brightly. Just follow me first. The magnificent tower appeared in the gentle sunlight, the magic tower of Duke Allard. The mages were talking to each other. A girl raised her hand, shaking a vial of medicine. She looked at the scene in front of her in surprise. So this is the magic tower, madam. Why did you come all the way here? She looked at a mage. I came for this child. I want to ask for treatment for her. Can you call Tellen for me? Treatment? Yes, I understand. He hurriedly called, and soon footsteps sounded. Sir Tellen, the Duchess has arrived, Sir Tellen. Tellen smiled excitedly, opening his arms. You have finally come, my disciple. She stared blankly at his excited smile. I knew sooner or later you would come to me. Even when the Duke said you refused to be my disciple, I did not believe it. Disciple, is he talking about me? A hand appeared, pushing his face away. Tellen, calm down. He was stunned when he heard the madam say, It is not like that. I came to ask for treatment. What treatment? Don't tell me you did not come to become my disciple. He saw a scratch on Ria's neck. She said softly, please. He looked at her sadly. That is disappointing, but I guess it can't be helped. He gently rotated his finger, a blue pattern appearing. Unfortunately, every time I see you, you are injured. She closed her eyes nervously. The two smiled at each other. It is done, thank you. She drifted into her own thoughts. Holy power has no effect, but the wound has completely healed. I wonder if this person erased all my scars when I was unconscious. A voice rang out, startling her. Not only is the amount of magic impressive, but the compatibility is also extraordinary. Her face paled as she turned to look at three faces with greedy expressions. Truly amazing. A hand raised a blue crystal ball. Here, this is a magic measurement ball. Very interesting, right? Do you want to touch it? Their enthusiasm made her a little scared. This is a nutritional candy. If you eat this, you won't need to eat anything for 2 days. This is what I made. Stop it, you are scaring the child. Her face froze when she heard Tellen's question. Do you like dolls by any chance? Dolls? He said enthusiastically, I have a doll that I used as an experiment to use as an assistant. Would you like to see it? The lab is on top of the tower, so it will take time to go up and down. Would you like to come along? She looked at him suspiciously. Up and down. She looked at him in surprise. Sir, why do not you use teleportation? He smiled softly. Everyone around smiled. What a childish idea. She looked at them shyly. Why are they laughing like that? He smiled, squinting his eyes. Magic is difficult, you know. He explained kindly. Even when you use elemental magic that suits you, you still need to use mana efficiently, requiring high concentration. You have to understand the technique accurately, draw formations, and even chant spells. She looked at him in surprise. Elements, techniques, and formations. Mages need all of that. She remembered the scene of herself learning magic from her master. I am sure when I learned magic from my master, I only learned how to control mana effectively and read incantations. She remembered Diana's surprised expression when she used magic to heal the wound on her leg, and I just kept using it like that. She thought a little confused. Isn't magic just memorizing incantations? No way, you have to learn the theory systematically and research formulas. Just memorizing spells. Even royal mages can't do that. She only thought of one possibility. Perhaps only the Archmage can do that. She comforted herself. After all, they are a genius once in 1,000 years. That is a lie. But those thoughts kept appearing in her mind. Could it be that everything I know about magic is wrong? Ria and the madam walked on the road. I hope you return safely, Duke. The madam smiled at her. I am glad the treatment ended quickly, Ria. She smiled in response. Yes, madam. She thought a little nervously. Although my mind is more messed up than these wounds. She thought of the most powerful man on the continent. As far as I know, the one called the Archmage is just the Grand Duke of Belis, who rules the Belis Duchy on this continent. That thought appeared in her mind again. Then what about the master who used magic without incantations or formations? She pointed at herself, full of question marks. If Tellen is not lying, then I am also said to be a genius once in 1,000 years. That is absurd. She suddenly realized, but thinking about it, although I have known that master for 8 years, I do not even know his real name. My world was only confined to the orphanage, the streets, and Terenkium. However, because all the information in the world converges on Terenkium, I lived with the thought that there was nothing. I did not know when I was there. She pursed her lips, her face darkening, but only after dying once did I realize that all of that may have just been an illusion. Her worldview was like a mirror full of cracks, that everything I knew may have just been a lie. A voice rang out, Duke, all the elders have gathered at the council chamber. Lucio replied sternly, those inflexible old men have finally gathered enough. He talked with his secretary. They must all be busy trying to understand what is going on, of course, except for Chairman Valerie. The warm light from the candle shone on the two people, with the second son Sid Valerie being imprisoned and the council of elders being convened, with his personality. He must be seething inside. The two looked up at the portrait hanging in the middle of the room. He frowned slightly, father, because of your incompetence. The Duke's family has had to dance in the palm of the Council of Elders for many years. He remembered the bloody battlefield of that year, to expel the Council of Elders along with my incompetent father and inherit the title, at the age of 18. I volunteered to become the Emperor's sword, charging into battle and returning in triumph. He realized a hand was grasping the roots of the family, after risking my life and surviving, and gaining the title of the Empire's Cold Devil, with the help of Duke Belus and Marquis Diapel. I was able to seize the title from the previous Duke, but by that time, the claws of the Council of Elders had dug too deeply into the Imperial Duke's family. He smiled softly, so while I was racking my brains, such an opportunity appeared. I can't wait to see the expression on their faces. Whispering voices sounded inside the room. The door opened, the head of the family has arrived. Everyone hurriedly stood up. He looked at them calmly. Everyone, please sit down. Sid's father hurriedly stood up to question, Duke, my son, the vice-captain of the Knights, why did you imprison Sid Valerie in the Duke's mansion dungeon? He glanced at him. How did you know about something that has not been officially announced? His voice was threatening. The chairman seems very interested in the internal affairs of the Duke's family, still as hot-tempered as ever. He swallowed nervously. He gave a stern order, Taze, bring him in, yes. Sid was brought into the room and knelt on the ground. He raised his head, his face pale. Father. They started whispering again, Sir Valerie, this. He shouted angrily, that is outrageous. How can you treat an honorable knight like this? He gave a disdainful smile. An honorable knight, how ridiculous. Sid was startled and horrified when he heard the Duke's words. Sid Valerie, tell me yourself, are you really an honorable knight who has upheld the knight's oath? His voice hissed through his teeth. I will ask again, are you really a knight? The Council of Elders looked at him suspiciously. Why do not you answer? Don't tell me the vice-captain. His voice rang out again. Ask the vassals who have sworn loyalty to the Allard Duke family. A soldier next to Sid bowed slightly. Sid's father hurriedly stood up to defend his son. I believe that everyone knows about the major incident that Lady Diana experienced. Wasn't that because of that Taze guy, who was responsible for escorting the young lady? A soldier standing next to him spoke up to correct. However, on that day, the vice-captain ordered us, who were in charge of the secret escort, to remain inactive. He shouted in horror, what? That soldier stood upright, answering loudly. He said that since the Duke had assigned the escort mission to Sir Taze, we did not need to escort the young lady until further orders. He continued, and after the young lady disappeared, he urged us not to say anything because he feared that it might upset the Duke. He smiled disdainfully, suppressing his anger. How ridiculous. Sid's father rushed over and slapped his son. Sid looked at his father in disbelief. He scolded fiercely, you madman, dared to mess with the young lady's safety, and you still dare to call yourself a descendant of the Valerie family, a family that has been wholeheartedly loyal to the Allard Duke. He hurriedly turned to look at him, expressing, Duke, from this moment on, that person is no longer my son, it is just the action of a foolish person. Please do not doubt the loyalty of my family. The hand placed on the armrest of the chair exerted force slightly. Is that so? He gritted his teeth, his anger reaching its peak. Then the Earl Valerie family using the Lection Knight's funds to buy a mineral mine is also just Sid Valerie's personal wrongdoing. He said firmly, from now on, I strip the Earl Valerie family of its vassal status. He begged in fear, Duke, please forgive us this time. The atmosphere in the room became heavy. He spoke, breaking the silence, I will go to the capital next week. He remembered the large garden in the mansion before that. I will hold a small party. Rhea smiled at the green plants. It seems spring has really arrived. The Duchess smiled in agreement. Yes, the weather is perfect for a walk. She smiled, her voice full of concern. Rhea, how are you feeling? She blushed, giving a bright smile. I am very happy, madam, thank you sincerely. She thought warmly. She deliberately took me for a walk because she was worried about me. She pondered, although the Earl Valerie family has received a deserved punishment, she worries that what happened that day may have hurt me. She drifted into her thoughts while staying at the Duke's mansion. I have felt it every moment. The Duchess is really a warm person like the sunlight. Just having her by my side is enough to make people feel at ease and comforted. She suddenly started sweating. Wait, this is really dangerous. She clenched her fists. I have decided not to tie myself to anyone again. If I keep going like this, it is no different from before. I need to seal my heart. She looked at the Duke and Duchess chatting happily. This afternoon, I plan to go out to try on dresses for the party. We are preparing it because you suggested it, but... Her expression was a little tense as she looked at them. Once we go to the capital, we will have fewer opportunities to meet the vassals in the territory, so I should hold a party. He looked at her suspiciously. I understand, but why do you want to go to the capital? It is just tiring. Ria was startled and surprised. Wait, what is going on? The Duchess is going to the capital. She pondered. No, if I remember correctly, then it must be. The madam smiled gently. Ria, this will be your first time going to the capital, right? Yes. She remembered the scene of the madam lying in a coffin full of flowers. The Duchess is going to die. After getting married, Duchess Eliard stayed in the territory to raise her children. She moved to the capital but passed away less than a year later. She looked at the gentlewoman in front of her. The exact cause was not revealed, but I heard that she was bedridden. I used to think that the Duchess, who had always been sickly, but when I actually met her I was surprised that she looked so healthy. She was worried. Could it be that it really is due to a genetic disease as everyone speculated? She remembered those who always wanted to cut the red thread of the Duke and Duchess. The Duchess came from a declining noble family, almost unknown. Because of that, there was fierce opposition from the royal family when they got married. Of course, Duke Icard would ignore such opinions. She thought of the scene of the madam being ostracized and pointed at by those nobles. In that situation, going to the capital must have meant an unfriendly welcome from other nobles. If mental stress is really the cause, I should feel better after going to the capital. She was surprised when she heard the two people's conversation. By the way, Alan said he will be in his room today. Alan refused to go out. This is unusual. Alan looked at his mother comforting Ria. But I can't deny that communicating with the nobles can be exhausting. She confirmed. I understand, so Alan did not hide behind the tree. Before that, if this condition is really due to stress, then I should be feeling better, right? The madam took her hand. Ria. She looked at her excitedly. Today, let us have a fun day just for the girls. She smiled. Yes, madam. A soldier stood in front of a luxurious carriage. Duchess, young lady, I am Sidon. I will escort you there. As the madam stepped into the carriage, he reminded, careful of the steps, Duchess. She replied, thank you, Taze. He looked at her and Ria. She was startled, looking at him. Yes. He bowed slightly to her. I wanted to say that I feel both ashamed and grateful. The first time we met, I owed you a great kindness. He smiled and praised, you are so smart and thoughtful. I do not think you will need my help, but if there is anything I can do for you, please let me know. I will definitely repay your kindness. She waved her hands shyly and hurriedly. No, it is nothing. He glanced at the bush behind him. And Jack, are you still hiding? Don't be shy, come out. He came forward, shyly scratching his head. Hello, Ria. He smiled, patting his shoulder. This boy's talent is extraordinary, so I decided to take him as my disciple. He just became a trainee knight, but in a few years he will officially be. She excitedly grabbed Jack's hand. Congratulations, Jack. He said softly, thank you. She looked at him suspiciously. What for? He looked at her seriously. For helping me become a knight. She was startled, looking at Jack's ears. His ears are turning red. She did not think it was right, replying a little shy. The master said it as if I would become one of the best knights without the master. Not to brag, no, Jack. This is entirely the result of your efforts. She gave a bright smile. Congratulations, really. He blushed. He hurriedly walked away shyly. Okay, hurry up and get in the carriage. She smiled softly. At times like this, he is really just a kid. The carriage moved on the road. She touched the cushion under her butt. She was surprised to feel it is so soft and smooth. It feels even better than the carriage I rode last time. A hand handed a bag to her. Ria, here, eat some snacks. The madam said gently, you should eat some sweets before going shopping. You know, she took a candy. Thank you very much. Her cheeks flushed. It is so sweet. The two smiled at her. You are so lovely, sister, you are so lovely. She blushed shyly. What? In the city, people were walking busily. A soldier's voice rang out, sir, we have arrived at a bustling city. The carriage stopped. Sidon reached out to help the madam out of the carriage. Her gentle voice rang out, be careful, Diana. Ria thought contentedly, as expected from the Duchess. She is so graceful. She looked down at the steps of the carriage. It is a little high, but I am sure I can jump down easily. A hand reached out in front of her. Jack looked at her. Here, take my hand, it is very high. She smiled happily at him, so she did not notice Diana's clenched fist. Okay, thank you. She smiled, praising Diana. Angrily bit Jack's hand. You are really like a knight, so cool. The madam appeared, picking the little girl up. Oh my, Diana, what are you doing? The little girl cried angrily. She is my princess. She looked at the hand with the teeth marks. Worried, Jack, are you okay? Does it hurt? He replied calmly. It does not hurt, she is just a child. Diana said stubbornly, I want to be her knight. She looked at this scene with a bit of a headache. It seems like she won't stop. What should I do? The doorbell rang. The two children looked at the luxurious room in surprise. Welcome, Duchess. She looked around in surprise. This is my first time coming to such a professional clothing store. The staff asked, are you trying on clothes together? The madam replied. Yes, please prepare clothes for all of us. She looked at the two children excitedly. Now is the time for fun shopping. Let us choose some beautiful clothes. She smiled, waving, have fun, Diana. She smiled awkwardly, coming out of the dressing room with a luxurious dress. But madam. She looked at her suspiciously. What is wrong, Ria? Her face paled, stammering. I think the staff misunderstood something. They keep measuring me and giving me clothes. She said calmly, what is the problem? All the clothes you tried on are yours. She replied in surprise, what? She hurriedly replied, but that is too much. Diana walked over to her sister. The little girl, wearing a blue dress, smiled as she ran over. Are you done trying on clothes? The two hugged, the atmosphere emitting countless pink bubbles. Diana, you look like a fairy. You are also very beautiful, sister. The two chatted happily. Let us take a break while the Duchess is shopping. Yes, that sounds great. A shrill voice rang out, startling her. Why can't I have it? Letitia shouted angrily. Don't you know I have been waiting for over a month? The sweating staff hurriedly bowed in apology. Young lady, you did not make a deposit, so. She glanced in one direction while arguing with the staff. I am really sorry. Her finger pointed in one direction. Hey you. She glared angrily at Ria. What are you looking at, you impudent brat? She shouted again. I am asking you, what are you looking at? Holding Diana in her arms, she looked at her a little nervously. This is bad. I should not attract attention in a place like this. Letitia's mother hurriedly stopped her daughter. Letitia, do not make a scene, let us go. She looked at her mother annoyed. But mom, the dress I want. Her mother hurriedly whispered in her ear. The Duchess is here. If you cause trouble before the party, we won't make a good impression. She turned her head annoyed and walked away. I understand. She suddenly turned her head, glancing. Her face paled in fright. She thought wearily, the children of today are really rude. The Duchess's surprised voice rang out a few days later on the day of the party. Oh my, you both look so beautiful. Both of them were wearing pink dresses. Diana smiled happily. Ria was a little shy and embarrassed. She praised with delight. You are both so cute. I am sure anyone who sees you will think you are sisters. She looked at her shyly, stammering, I, madam, but. She smiled, comforting her. Ria, you are an extremely precious and important person to our family, so I hope you won't feel too burdened. She gently stroked her hair. Diana pulled her skirt, sister. She lowered her head, looking at the little girl. Diana, what is it? Is something wrong? Here, come closer. She looked at her suspiciously. What is the matter? She touched the pink hairpin on her cheek. The little girl smiled brightly. Here, this suits you. She blushed embarrassedly. Oh my goodness. She looked at the madam worriedly. Duchess, is it really okay if I wear such an expensive piece of jewelry? She replied casually. Of course it is okay. Diana personally gave it to you, did not she? She stepped in front of the mirror. She looked at herself in the mirror. She grasped the skirt, her hand tightening slightly. The dress is so beautiful, the kind people in the Duke's family. All of this is like a dream that will disappear when I wake up. She touched the luxurious hairpin. Dana, thank you so much. I will cherish it. Yes, sister, you are so beautiful. A voice rang out. Diana, mother. Alan, wearing a formal suit, stepped forward. He looked at her suspiciously. You, what is on your head? He quickly stepped forward while she was speaking. This is what the young lady. He raised his hand, knocking the hairpin away. The hairpin fell to the ground. He shouted angrily but was interrupted by a shout. Do you know what that is, Alan? The madam looked at her son angrily. What rude behavior is this? Apologize to Ria immediately. He said reluctantly, but mom, that girl. The madam's voice rang out. He gritted his teeth. Diana put it on herself. Ria did not do anything wrong, you know that too. He shouted angrily at her. I hate you. Hearing his accusations, she was stunned. It is all Diana's fault if you had not come here. He turned and left. The madam's voice sounded as the door closed. Alan. She looked at her sadly. What should I do? This is my fault, Duchess. I am sorry, I should not have. She gently took her hand, comforting her. I am sorry, Ria. It will be okay. It is not your fault. She told the history of the hairpin. That hairpin was a birthday gift from Alan to Diana not long ago. She took the blame on herself. He seems to have misunderstood that she gave it to you permanently. I should have paid more attention. I am sorry. I will discipline him properly. She looked at her, replying, no, it is okay. She looked at her. Then, shall we go to the banquet hall? Diana and I will come in a little later. Can you go ahead and wait for us? Yes, madam. She thought sadly. Alan really cares about his sister. It is understandable that he feels uncomfortable. I should apologize properly later. A luxurious carriage appeared at the main gate. The carriage has arrived. The luxurious ladies stepped in. The sound of a folding fan closing forcefully. How annoying. Letitia's father looked at her unhappily. Letitia, what are you doing? Can't you behave properly? She replied annoyed. But this is not the dress I wanted. Jude pointed at her angrily. Stop saying that and adjust your posture. You need to make a good impression on that young lady. This is an opportunity that may not come again. His voice was full of calculation. Now, the Earl Valadier family and their loyal subordinates have been dealt with. Many important positions under the Duke are now vacant. She was not happy when she heard her father's instructions. Coincidentally, the Duke's beloved youngest daughter is the same age as you. You know what that means. Letitia, if you do well, our family can rise again. His wife looked at her husband suspiciously. The cause of this incident was just a word from that young lady that the madam cherished. He scolded annoyedly. How stupid. That is just an excuse. Everyone knows clearly that His Grace does not like Earl Valerie. The carriage stopped, but there are rumors that the Duchess loves that child very much. Perhaps that child will receive protection. She rested her chin, looking out the window with a disdainful expression. What protection, for a bastard child whose only value is rumors? She thought contemptuously of the Duke's youngest daughter, that has become famous in my group of friends, the story of the prickly youngest princess who is obsessed with a maid. She smiled confidently, but that does not matter. This time I will definitely get it. The carriage opened. Baron Jude has arrived. The three stepped into the mansion. He looked at his daughter a little worriedly. Letitia, you have to do well, you understand, she replied coquettishly. You do not need to tell me. She covered her face with a fan, glancing around. Where is that young lady? She glanced in one direction as if she saw something. Wait, that. She looked at Rhea. My dress. The fan gently touched her dress. Young lady. She was startled, turning around. Did you call me? She replied. That is right. She smiled evilly. Which family are you from, young lady? Someone touched another little girl on the shoulder with a fan and asked, this young lady. It was Letitia. She deliberately smiled sarcastically. May I ask which family are you from? Rhea turned back confused. Isn't this the girl I met at the tailor shop that day? Remembering that day, Letitia did not hesitate to point at her and insult her. What are you looking at, you impudent brat? Rhea thought to herself, but if she is calling me young lady, she must have forgotten me, right? Her way of speaking has also changed. Full of style, she stammered, I am. At this moment, a voice rang out, announcing, the Duke and Duchess are entering. A family of 4, extremely happy, admirable. The others quickly bowed. Greetings, Duke, Duchess, are you well? Rhea also immediately followed the etiquette, then looked up. Seeing Diana, who was always cheerful, she thought to herself, Diana, she did not cry so strong. On the side, Letitia frowned unhappily, looking at Rhea. Immediately afterwards she came closer, continuing to probe, young lady, our conversation is not over yet you are looking elsewhere, is not that impolite? Rhea was startled. Yes, but the Duke's family just entered. A pair of feet hurriedly ran to them. Wasn't I the one who spoke first? So, you have to answer me first, that. Diana hugged Rhea, calling happily, sister. Unable to hide her emotions, the little girl said joyfully, I missed you so much. Rhea was embarrassed. Princess, there are so many people here. Why are you like this? Diana continued to snuggle. I have only seen you since just now. Letitia saw this and angrily questioned, Princess Diana, why are you treating a lowly person like this? Diana pointed straight at her. Hey. The little girl scolded Letitia in a tirade. How dare you make things difficult for my sister? You despicable thing. She was shocked. Make things difficult, Princess, I am not. The commotion attracted the surrounding gazes. They immediately discussed, what is going on there? Rhea could only defuse the situation. This is troubling. It is getting louder, Princess. I am fine. It is nothing. Diana was still upset, but she looked at you with a very evil look. Rhea avoided. Maybe you saw it wrong. Let us go play over there. To smooth things over, she led Diana away. Come on, let us go, Princess. I saw it clearly. Letitia gritted her teeth angrily. That audacious thing, I can't let this go. The two had gone outside the grounds. Here people were playing non-stop. The little girl made a sad face. Diana just wanted to protect you. Diana explained that, I hate those who hurt you, so I wanted to teach them a lesson because I am your knight protector. Rhea comforted, you have already protected me, have not you? Hearing this, Diana was excited. Me. She recounted the argument with Letitia just now. Just now you were standing in front of me. I can't imagine how brave and amazing you were. Diana blushed shyly. Really, was I really that amazing? Rhea smiled, so do not be sad anymore. Ending her words, she immediately instructed. You must be hungry, you have worked so hard. I will go to the table and bring some cake, you can rest here for a while. Diana lay down on the chair, cheering, yes, go and come back, sister. The little girl's figure at this time, small, lovely. Could there be a more amazing warrior in the world? Rhea thought happily, she ran to find me without eating anything, she must be very hungry. While she was wondering what to choose, I have to quickly choose something delicious and bring it back. Unexpectedly, in front of her was a huge chocolate tower, causing Rhea to be stunned. There were colorful sweet macarons. There were also fruit tarts and mousse. Rhea stood there dumbfounded, a chocolate paradise. That expression of hers was noticed by the people around. So luxurious in the middle of nature. The parties of the nobility are indeed different. What should I take first? Two girls whispered. Is that the child that the princess brought? Her hands froze. Continuous jeering whispers continued. Rhea, what is this? Not pretty at all. Look, she's even wearing clothes similar to the princess. My God, is that her really? Why is the princess with someone like that? She could only grit her teeth and endure. Don't bother with them. It is inevitable that someone who suddenly appears out of nowhere will become the subject of noble gossip. Suddenly someone came forward. The more important thing right now is, what? Rhea was surprised. That is Alan. She thought in confusion, why did he come here? Should not he be greeting people with the Duchess right now? If we bump into each other, not only will I not be able to apologize, but it will also make matters worse. A pair of hands reached towards Rhea while she was not paying attention. I have to quickly go back to Diana. Then immediately pushed her hard. Rhea fell to the ground, food scattered everywhere. She sat up in a panic. Rhea looked at the dress she was wearing, the dress that the madam had given her. The Duchess hurried over. What is all the commotion? She rushed over asking worriedly, Rhea, what happened? Are you hurt anywhere? Rhea lowered her face, ashamed. Thank you for your concern, Duchess, I am fine. The Duchess pressed, really Rhea, are you all right? She clenched her fists, enduring. Someone pushed me from behind. It must be a noble's child. If I investigate, it will only cause more chaos. I can't trouble the Duke's family because of this. It is best to quietly let it go. Unexpectedly, someone stood up to expose the truth. Sure enough, a lowly person can't hide their rude behavior even when dressed in luxurious clothes. It is incomprehensible. Even causing a commotion like this at a banquet. Letitia was shocked to be pointed at. Alan coldly accused, she pushed Rhea. He frowned and said, I saw it with my own eyes. The people around stood silently, watching while Alan kept shouting, I saw clearly that she pushed Rhea. Letitia was scared. Young master, what are you talking about? Saying that I pushed this maid? I swear I never did. But he still insisted, what? I clearly saw it and you are still trying to deny it. Alan resolutely said to everyone, you tell me you all saw her push her. At this moment, a stern voice spoke. Why does not anyone ask the person involved? It was Duke Ellard who came forward to clarify. No matter what outsiders say, it won't be helpful. He looked at Rhea and asked, Rhea, answer, who pushed you, or did you fall on your own? Rhea did not hesitate and accused bluntly. I did not fall on my own, someone clearly pushed me. Alan took advantage of this. See, I said I saw it, she pushed her. Only Letitia still stubbornly denied it. I really did not push her, I did not even get close to her. She smiled slyly while everyone was still stunned. Rhea, then did you see the face of the person who pushed you? No, I did not see it. Letitia laughed inwardly. Good, she did not see the face, and there are no other witnesses. Even if the young master comes forward, no nobles will defend a common maid. Still being complacent, I just need to pretend to be pitiful and let things pass. Unexpectedly, Rhea said, but I have evidence. She held up a piece of lace fabric. When I was pushed down, I tried to grab onto that person's clothes. Rhea confirmed. This is a piece of clothing torn off at that time. The people around were shocked. Wait, that is. They looked at her, whispering, the lace on Lady Letitia's dress. Alan stood laughing triumphantly. You said you did not get close. Then why could Rhea tear off your dress? Letitia's face darkened, trembling. That is. Unexpectedly, from a distance, her parents rushed over in a panic. Letitia, what is going on? What disrespect have you caused to the Duke? Duke Ellard looked at her sternly. Unhappily, Baron Jude, because of your daughter, today's banquet was disrupted, so you must take responsibility. Baron Jude was horrified. Yes, your grace, this is. A hand reached out in front of Rhea and said, Rhea, get up. Duke Ellard confirmed, she is Diana's person. Alan also said angrily, not the kind of person you can touch. At this point, Letitia ran away in fear, shouting sorry. Her parents were also surprised. Letitia. Alan still did not let go, remembering the dress. That dress is a matching set with Diana's. Now it is torn to pieces. The Duchess comforted Rhea, are you okay? But then tears fell to the ground. Rhea sobbed, I am sorry, madam. She cried guiltily, I dirted the dress, I am really sorry. The Duchess still smiled, reassuring Rhea, it is okay, you have nothing to apologize for. She gently wiped away Rhea's tears. It is not your fault, and the dress can be bought again. Diana also rushed over to hug her, surprised. Sister, are you okay? The little girl was annoyed, so bad, daring to bully my sister. Let us go buy a new dress, it is dirty, now let us go buy it again. Rhea stroked her head. I know, thank you for worrying about me, Dana. She pursed her lips and told herself, that is right, in this life I have decided not to resign myself to fate anymore. So from now on, I won't bow my head, and I won't swallow my anger. Because there are people who care about me like this. The Ellard Duke's mansion. Rhea sighed in relief after taking a shower. I feel a little better now. She clenched the towel in her hand, constantly thinking, although the banquet ended like that, at least I avoided a false accusation. Rhea told herself, even with clear evidence, if Alan and the Duke do not side with me, no one will believe the words of a maid like me. The door suddenly opened while she was not sleeping, contemplating. Indeed, you still have to have money to get by. I have to earn some decent money when I go to the capital. Rhea was surprised. The person standing in front of the door is Alan. She stammered, young master, what are you doing here? He just raised his hand, signaling, follow me. Rhea was stunned, not understanding. Why suddenly tell me to follow him? In her mind at this moment, she thought with a headache. Didn't we make up already? On the table, there were so many sweets, the cakes were so attractive, he was still cold, eat. Alan gave a casual order, eat it, what is going on, eat all of this. Rhea froze for a few seconds, not knowing what he was planning to do, but she immediately picked up a cake. I have not eaten anything since morning, I am so hungry then. Then slowly took a bite, tasting it, I will eat now. Feeling the delicious food made Rhea extremely happy, so delicious. But she was immediately interrupted when Alan said sorry. She turned her head blankly. Yes, what did you say just now? He was a little embarrassed, sorry for getting angry at you last time. Alan recounted, I heard everything from my mother about all the things that happened. He had also heard from the Duchess about how she had protected Diana. Images of Rhea at that time appeared. She had taken care of Diana with care and had done what she did for her. Alan did not hesitate to express, I just thought you were treating Dana well because you had some conspiracy, but in that difficult situation, how could you calculate anything? He explained his reasons. It is my fault for treating you badly and saying unpleasant things. Every time I look at you I think about losing Diana, so I vented my anger for no reason on things that were not your fault. I am really sorry. Rhea said softly, I feel more grateful than angry because you stood up for me just now. Alan turned around excitedly, that is only natural, she clearly did something bad to you, you were wronged. He was hesitant, I can't possibly ignore such injustice. Rhea smiled gratefully, you are really amazing, young master, so do not make that face anymore. She teased, it is a waste to always frown on such a handsome face, which made Alan blush. What? He examined, are not you embarrassed to say those things? Rhea was still calm, do I need to be embarrassed because it is the truth? Alan could only be embarrassed, that is right, I am handsome. She happily replied, yes, you are very handsome. But he bluntly criticized, and you are ugly. Rhea was furious, I am praising you. But then she smiled, even though the whole day was a mess. The two of them continued to talk for a long time, but ending like this was a pretty good outcome compared to what she imagined. You are so childish, you idiot. After all the troubles ended, the new year also arrived. The Duke's family and Rhea excitedly watched the fireworks. I turned 9 years old, and Jack and Alan turned 11. We returned to our daily lives. She hugged Diana tightly. The preparations to go to the capital were progressing smoothly without any problems. I also enjoyed the peaceful New Year's days with Diana. At this time Rhea met Viscount Bardo. She adjusted her glasses and said, is this the child who said she discovered splecia? She was a little surprised, that is right, but she was still wondering what is going on. Viscount Bardo immediately apologized. Sorry for the late introduction. She coldly introduced, I am Duke Ellard's personal physician, Viscount Bardo. Rhea was a little surprised, Viscount Bardo. The woman who surpassed her brothers with her outstanding abilities and became the most prestigious head of the family in the empire in the field of medicine. Rhea was stunned and wondered. The Duke suddenly called me without saying why. I was still wondering, but I met a doctor. I wish he had told me in advance. Suddenly she held out a herb and asked, how did you know it was splecia? She explained carefully, it looks like ordinary weeds, but the stem and leaves are different. Do you see the small hairs like thorns here? Rhea pointed to the leaf and spoke skillfully. And the leaf veins radiate like spider webs too. The two people behind her peeked excitedly. That is the clearest difference from weeds. The man with glasses rejoiced. I did not expect to see splecia in my life. Sir, we can cooperate with the mages to research how to grow this. I was worried because this is a rare medicinal herb, but luckily the child knows its value. Then he turned back to ask, hey kid, have you seen any other medicinal herbs? Rhea was flustered. Yes, other medicinal herbs. They were eagerly clinging to her. That is right, if you know anything, just say it. Studying medicine or pharmacy on this occasion would not be bad either, which frightened Rhea. This familiar feeling is. The Duke quickly came to the rescue. Enough. He glared and ordered, that is enough, you guys go back and start researching. Yes, your grace. Rhea finally breathed a sigh of relief. Finally it is quiet again. She suddenly heard, just as I thought. The Duke coldly stated, you are indeed the lucky star of this house. Rhea shuddered, yes. He recounted, my wife once said that a lucky star had come to the house. Rhea thought, if I were really a lucky star, I probably would not have suffered so much. The Duke added, and as you just heard, the medicinal herb you found is very valuable. If we succeed in growing it, we can not only produce medicinal materials but also create medicines and distribute them throughout the empire under the name of the Ellard family. Rhea was looking forward to hearing that. So that is it. The Ellard family's reputation will be even more famous. Everyone will praise the family. I intend to reward you. What do you want? She was stunned. Yes. The Duke calmly announced. The person who discovered the precious medicinal herb must of course receive a worthy reward. He teased, you did not think you would not get anything, did you? And even though I do not know when we will succeed in growing it, when there is revenue you will also receive a portion of it. Then he said, what I said before is still valid. If you want to learn anything, just say it. Rhea quickly seized the opportunity. I have something I want to ask for. The next day, cheerful singing rang out. Rhea eagerly looked at herself in the mirror. Finally she had an official maid uniform. She remembered asking for the gift from the Duke, a maid uniform. I have told the butler many times, but because there were not any that fit, I was not issued one. So I had to wear this expensive dress, which is very inconvenient when working. He was a little surprised. A maid uniform, is that all? Rhea was shy, although it was a little embarrassing. I am glad I said it. I really like it. She turned to her bed. Moreover, I was issued many more sets to change in rotation, so it does not matter if they get dirty. Rhea closed the suitcase. She picked it up and took a deep breath and exhaled strongly. Now then, let us set off. Rhea pursed her lips expectantly. Finally that day had arrived. The carriage had arrived in front of the mansion gate. The day of departure to the capital. Alan was surprised when he heard about it. Really, that little girl is usually quiet and obedient. Jack was calm. I do not really know. I have only talked to Rhea a few times. The two of them gradually became closer after a few sparring sessions. Alan showed some discomfort. Is that so? He frowned and glanced at Jack. We lived in the same orphanage for several years, but we were not close at all, not even close. So why did he personally ask father to put Jack in the Knights? The image of Jack appeared extremely radiant. Alan was annoyed. Could it be because of his face? Suddenly Rhea interrupted from the side. What face? He jumped and screamed, hey, you startled me. She hurried, I am sorry, I did not expect you to be so startled. Then a voice rang out from behind. What is all the noise about? It was the Duke and Duchess coming. Have you finished preparing to leave for the capital? Diana pointed at Alan's face angrily. Do not yell at my princess. The Duke instructed, we will depart soon, everyone get in the carriage quickly. Yes, your grace. On this side, his younger sister was gnawing on his hand, screaming miserably, do not leave like that. Keep Diana for me. Rhea moved to the other side. He wondered, where are you going? She calmly replied, yes, I am going to the carriage for the servants. The Duke stated, you will go with us. Rhea was hesitant, but it takes 15 days to get to the capital by the servants' carriage, and because the cost is high, initially only members of the Duke's family could use teleportation. If I squeeze in, it will increase the cost. The Duchess also advised, Diana will cry without you. She also asked Diana, crying for days in a row, right Diana? The little girl immediately colluded, that is right, I will cry hoo-hoo. Rhea had no choice but to accept, I am sorry, then I will take my leave. The Duchess smiled, oh, what is there to be sorry about? Get in the carriage quickly. The white horse jumped up in preparation. Let us depart. The carriage slowly moved. Inside the carriage, silence prevailed. Rhea looked out the window and pondered. When we get to the capital, the Duke said he would open a private vault and appoint an investment manager for me, and after a while, the money divided from Splesia would also be in my hands. She continued to daydream. Although it was not like her original plan, it seemed that her relationship with Duke Ellard had not ended yet. Anyway, it is not being tied to the family, so it should be fine. Suddenly Alan spoke, hey idiot. He frowned and said hesitantly, a face is not everything. Then he turned away quickly, confused. I thought you did not know, so I had to tell you. Rhea was stunned and thought, this trip to the capital does not seem to be starting smoothly at all. It was raining heavily. The Duke's mansion in the capital. Everyone was wet when they arrived. The Duchess asked urgently, is everyone all right? The butler smiled, yes, Duchess, are you safe? She handed him a towel and smiled as she talked. Long time no see, Albert. Is there anything unusual? Rhea looked up at them, yes, Duchess. By the way, where's the Duke? Oh, he is already gone to the palace, because there is urgent business to take care of. She noticed the woman in the back. She did not look happy. She shuddered at Helen's gaze. What is it? I can feel intense hostility from that woman. Must be her mood, right? But she changed her attitude when she talked to the Duchess. This is Lady Diana, right? She looks just like the Duke. I am the head maid, Helen. Diana suddenly cried loudly, hugging Rhea, which surprised everyone. The Duchess panicked. Oh my, Diana. She is not the type to cry for no reason. Alan, take Diana to her room first. The little girl went while crying non-stop. Yes. The servants hurried. I will take the lady and young master to their rooms. Rhea intended to follow me too. But she was stopped by the Duchess. Mrs. Helen, it has been a while. I am a little late to introduce her. This is Rhea. She immediately bowed and greeted her. Yes, hello, I am Rhea. I am taking care of Lady Diana. The other servants whispered. Who is that little girl that she even used teleportation to come here with the Duchess? Her mind sank. They said that, with this outfit, she is definitely a maid. Rhea clenched her hands as she listened to the others talking badly about her. The lady hugged her just now. Here we go again. She suddenly remembered the past, like the first time I went to the guild with my master. The uncomfortable gazes of their eyes when they saw Rhea. Terentium's teammates suddenly became wary of me, the person my master brought. And the things that happened after that only made me feel confused and hurt. She swallowed and endured. This time it probably won't be any different. I can't draw any more attention to myself. While in the Duke's mansion, I should only show enough skill to be by Diana's side. The Duchess made a request. I sent a letter in advance when I came to the capital because she is very loved by Diana. I hope you can arrange a room next to her. Before she could finish speaking, the maid interrupted. Duchess, that is not possible in principle. Helen said sternly. How can you put a maid in the main hall, let alone next to the ladies' room? If that is the case, you might as well have her sit on a chair in the hallway, serving all night. The Duchess was embarrassed. Wait, Mrs. Helen, what are you saying? Rhea immediately accepted happily. Duchess, I am fine. I am already very grateful to be in a guest room like this. She could only follow Helen's intentions. The head maid's attitude was not good at all. I can't let this be talked about anymore. The Duchess was sad. Rhea. Hearing her instructions, she smirked smugly. Just do as I say and take the child to her room. Yes, Duchess. Morning at the Duke's mansion. Rhea diligently wiped the glass windows. She worked hard. It had been a week since I came to the capital. Rhea thought, the Duke is busy going back and forth between the royal palace because he is the deputy commander-in-chief, and I can hardly meet him. The Duchess is constantly invited to social parties by the ladies. Helen quickly handled the work for the Duchess. Surprisingly, contrary to my previous worries, the head maid wholeheartedly supported the Duchess in everything. Rhea remembered her reminders. It is not appropriate for you to eat with the nobles according to normal etiquette, even though I am often reminded of the rules and regulations of conduct. Yes. A group of servants naturally came over, but the thing I should be most worried about is, hey, you are Rhea, right? They looked disdainful. I heard the lady dotes on you. The maid sarcastically said non-stop, eating at the same table with the lady, and even wanting to stay in the same room. Oh my, no matter how loved you are, you should know your place. They also ridiculed Rhea's background. I heard you are an orphan. You should be very grateful to be working at the Duke's house. That is right. You think it is easy to get a job here without a letter of recommendation. She could only stand there helplessly, acting like this and bullying a 9-year-old kid. Are not you ashamed? Rhea immediately replied, yes, that is right. I am very honored to be working in the Duke's family. The maids were stunned. What? She looked very excited and did not care about the taunts, so I will try my best. Hearing that, they did not bother to talk about it. She is really obedient. Rhea sneered. There is no need to pay attention to these childish provocations. They immediately ordered, hey, are you planning to just wipe the window and play? The laundry room is full of clothes. Take care of everything before you are done. She obediently listened. Yes, I know. Rhea hurriedly ran away. I finished earlier than I thought. I am so lucky. I am used to this kind of bullying. Outside, the maids could not help but sigh, feeling sorry for Jack. He has always been cold. A knight. Why is a knight? Jack looked at a maid and asked, I have something I want to ask. The little girl was shy. Yes, oh yes, please speak. He inquired, do you know where a little girl named Rhea is? The little girl was surprised. Rhea, why are you looking for her? Jack coldly replied. Do I have to say the reason? She was hesitant. It is not necessary, but... Jack followed the directions. If it is Rhea, she is probably at the laundry now. He thought, the laundry. He could not help but wonder, she should be by the lady's side at this time. Why is she doing chores even after coming to the capital? Rhea was doing laundry with her bare hands. She was so engrossed that she did not notice Jack had been standing behind her for a long time. Rhea stood up and sighed. There is more than I thought. She was about to continue, but suddenly Jack came over and grabbed her hand tightly. But it is almost done. The two of them unconsciously looked at each other. Rhea was stunned. Jack, what are you doing here? He gritted his teeth annoyedly. What do you mean, what am I doing here? Jack asked uncomfortably. Is that all you are going to say to me? He held Ria's hand tightly and did not let go. What do you mean, what am I doing here? Is that all you are going to ask me? Jack kept asking, did not you hear anyone say that I have arrived too? It has been a few days since I came to the capital. Young Master Alan also said he has not seen you around lately. Ria replied tiredly. The young master is very busy these days, so it is hard for me to see him. She heard whispers again. What is her relationship with that knight? They were just waiting to say bad things about Ria. The Duchess, the lady, does not she think she is going too far? She panicked. Oh no, I am being noticed again. Ria had no choice but to wave her hand and avoid talking to Jack. If the young maids knew about these things, they would talk about it for days. Anyway, I am glad to see you again, Jack, but I am a little busy now. He noticed the laundry tub. Do you have to do all of this alone? Didn't you come to the capital to support the lady? Ria glossed over. I am just taking advantage of my free time. I can't be by the lady's side all the time here. Suddenly someone called out loudly. Ria, do not you have afternoon tea with the lady? Go quickly. Ria panicked, but there is still laundry to be done. Let me help, Jack offered. You seem to be in a hurry. She quickly refused. It is okay, Jack, I can do it. You go do your work. This time someone came over. Hey, Ria. The orange-haired girl was friendly. I will finish it for you. You go first. She readily offered. We have to help each other. The lady must be waiting. Go quickly. Ria was delighted. Okay, thank you. Just like that, Ria hurriedly left. Well, Jack, see you later. He was stunned. Hey, Ria, wait. That girl grabbed Jack's sleeve. Sir Knight. She weakly asked for help. If you are not busy, could you help me carry this laundry? Jack did not bother to listen to her, but looked at the laundry behind her. I am afraid I can't carry it all by myself. Ria had to do all of it alone just now. Seeing that, Jack could not help but feel uncomfortable. He said, did not Ria do it? Even though she is smaller and weaker, the girl stared blankly at Jack. After saying that, Jack turned and left. You can do it too. The girl called after him helplessly. Please wait, Knight. Ria was still quickly running to Diana's side. She suddenly remembered Jack. Jack, he is getting a lot of attention. Maid's around 14 to 16 years old, and Jack is only 11 years old. The age difference is quite a bit, but he is getting so much attention. Ria also said to herself, that is right, later not only the maids, but also the ladies will be attracted to him. But even so, she was still calculating, until he swore to become Diana's knight. Ria even proudly spoke to herself, Jack has no involvement in any relationships. Of course, if you have eyes, how can you pay attention to anyone else when you have our beautiful Lady Diana? Very good, he is really the ideal type, and there is something very romantic about him too. Suddenly, Alan appeared from who knows when. Who? Ria was shocked. Young master. He asked annoyedly, who did you say was romantic? She could only avoid it. It is nothing. Young master finished training early. Alan was annoyed, of course. I finished early to eat with Diana, not to meet you. He misspoke and quickly corrected himself. I mean because Diana is busy studying, I can't see her, so I tried to arrange time to eat together. Ria was also stunned. Is that so? Then she suddenly thought, now that I mention it, I wonder how Diana is doing with her studies. At first I thought homeschooling might be too much for a child like Diana, but because the head maid said that the lady started too late compared to other noble ladies. Ria remembered, so the Duchess had no choice but to listen. She reluctantly accepted. Anyway, the head maid really understands the political situation of the capital more than I do. I am sure the lady is enjoying her studies. Alan quickly waved his hand. Let us talk about that later. You came for tea time, right? Going quickly. I will wait. Ria panicked. That is right, I am going in. Please try hard in your training. Ria was a little confused. I do not know why I feel like he is trying to avoid the answer. But things seemed better when she saw Diana. The little girl, as always, ran to her side. Fairy. Ria was delighted. Lady. Have you been well these days? Diana happily showed off. I have been learning to read, draw, and learn greetings these days. She praised non-stop. You have learned so much. You are so good. I am so glad. It seems the lady is keeping up with her lessons. The Duchess was also here. Ria, long time no see. Ria was surprised. Duchess, why are you here? She said with a smile, because I heard you two would have tea together, so I took some time to stop by. I am glad I came at the right time. Of course, I still have some things to take care of. But the servant brought a stack of documents and reported, Duchess, these are the budget documents that need to be approved today. Helen coldly hinted, and this is the invitation to the parties you will attend next week. Please take a look. The Duchess had no choice but to listen. I understand. Thank you, Mrs. Helen. The Duchess is really busy. The Duchess urged, I am bothering you, right? Let us eat quickly. Mrs. Helen has already prepared the tea. Ria quickly went over. Yes, thank you, Duchess. Rhea approached the table and suddenly noticed. She stared at the teacup on the table. Black tea. This taste probably won't suit Diana's palate. On the other side, Diana excitedly whined, "Mom, give Dana cocoa." But the servant spoke up, "Lady." Helen sternly refused. "What if you still demand cocoa like a child tomorrow when you go to the salon?" The Duchess panicked. "Wait, what is the matter, Mrs. Helen? What salon? Why did not you discuss it with me first?" She still remained calm. "I said it before, the lady should also start participating in social events." She angrily questioned. "You probably remember that I said it was too early." Diana rarely interacts with peers when she is in the territory. Helen deliberately sneered. "Duchess, maybe you do not know because you were not born and raised in the capital." Hearing that, the Duchess could only remain silent, but for a noble lady like the lady, it is extremely important to befriend peers from a young age. She also suggested, "Moreover, Lady Diana is the only daughter of one of the two dukes in the empire. The Faerun family only has one young master, so the lady must be the flower of high society." The Duchess lowered her face in frustration, "Otherwise she will be looked down upon by other nobles." Diana innocently suggested, "But if I go with sister?" Helen bluntly replied, "Lady, she can't go to the salon with you." She instructed another girl instead, "This girl will go with you." She smiled, "Hello lady, my name is Sophie." Sophie confidently introduced, "I know all the family backgrounds and names of the ladies who will be attending the salon tomorrow, so please leave it to me. I will take good care of the lady." The Duchess could not bear it anymore and questioned Mrs. Helen, "You are going too far today. Making decisions on your own, supporting Diana is." She confronted the Duchess. "I have said it before, high society in the capital." Rhea sat on the side worried, "What is going on?" She stared at Diana. "Will Dana have to go to the salon without me?" Rhea looked at Diana worriedly. "Will Dana have to go to the salon without me?" Helen looked sarcastic. "I think it is time for the lady to choose a dedicated maid." "Surely you are not thinking of that child named Rhea, are you?" The Duchess was flustered, supporting Diana. Rhea was stunned when she heard her say that. "Duchess, the lady can't choose a maid so casually." She clutched her skirt and endured, "Especially since this is her first time to the salon. How can you entrust the lady to such a young and inexperienced child?" Helen lectured. "Although it is said to be a meeting, many ladies and young masters have already formed cliques." She resolutely said, "Even though she is young, this is still a miniature version of the social scene, and it can't be neglected. I do not know what will happen, so you have to be careful in choosing someone to follow." The madam kept defending Rhea. "Helen, maybe she did not know, but that child is very smart and bright. Well, being favored by the madam and the young lady like that, she must be clever." Helen retorted, "But she is not even 10 years old yet." The madam hesitated. That, Rhea sadly said. Head butler was indeed rude to the Duchess of the Empire. She was just reassuring herself, but if she thought it was for Dana's future, it was not entirely wrong. Moreover, she originally came from a family that served the Duke of Ellard, not only taking care of internal affairs in the Duke's residence. Helen was not an ordinary person, but also someone who provided great support to a duchess who was participating in high society in the capital for the first time. Rhea understood implicitly. That is why the madam hesitated, fearing that her lack of knowledge would ruin Dana's future. Unexpectedly, Rhea interrupted the story. "Madam, head butler, I am really sorry for speaking out of turn." She deliberately made an excuse to leave. "The young lady and Miss Sophie need to prepare in advance, so I will take my leave. Young lady, have a good study session." Diana sadly shouted, "Sister." The next day, the madam and everyone stood in front of the carriage. Diana was elaborately and adorably dressed. "Young lady, I will help you into the carriage." Rhea sighed from afar. "Diana, you look even more adorable than usual today. You will definitely be the flower of the salon today." The little girl looked towards her. Rhea was unconsciously happy. "Look at that." But Diana pouted sulkily. The little girl just burst into tears. The maid was flustered. "Young lady, how can you act like this? Please stop," Diana shouted. "I do not want to. If you do not go, I won't go either." Sophie tried to persuade. "Young lady, please get in the carriage." But Diana resolutely refused. "No, I want to go with my sister." Rhea had no choice but to approach. "Young lady." She coaxed Diana. "There will be many delicious things and many friends there. Everyone will definitely like you. It will be very fun." Rhea also promised, "If you go and come back, I will read fairy tales for you and we can play with dolls for as long as you want." Diana was delighted. "Really, of course." She hooked her finger with Diana to keep her promise. "I promise, so please do not cry anymore. Be brave and come back happily." Finally, the little girl stopped crying and listened. The carriage door then opened. Sitting in the carriage, Diana looked back and waved. "Sister, I am leaving." Rhea also shouted, "Be careful." At this moment, Alan called from behind. "Hey, you idiot!" Hearing that, Rhea froze. She thought to herself, if Diana were here, she would have bitten his leg off. What a pity. Rhea awkwardly turned around. "Why did you call me?" Alan impatiently ordered. Bring some snacks to the training ground later. She asked confusedly, why suddenly? Alan angrily said, just bring it because I told you to, what else? He instructed, I will eat during the sparring session with Jack, so prepare it. Alan also deliberately emphasized, do not be lazy and ask another maid to bring it, you must come yourself. Rhea reluctantly obeyed. Okay, I know. Helen looked at Rhea uncomfortably. She gritted her teeth in annoyance. At this time at the training ground, Jack was resting, wiping sweat after a period of training. He turned to ask Alan, who was still glaring at him, is there something you want to tell me? Alan blurted out, she likes handsome guys. He also showed off, besides, she has told me I am handsome several times. Jack was silent and said nothing. He suddenly said, I did not know she liked that type of person. Jack also recounted, but Rhea also said I am handsome. Alan was petrified. He deliberately provoked, I saw her keep looking at white people, so I asked the reason. She said it is because I'm handsome. Alan endured, really, that is amazing. A voice rang out, interrupting them, young master Jack. Rhea carried a basket of food and walked over, I brought the snacks. Jack immediately approached, give it to me, thank you Jack. He took the basket from Rhea's hand and asked, you brought it alone, is not it heavy? She recalled, it is completely fine, the distance is also close, actually, the maids kept fighting to come along so I had to refuse many times, it is okay, I can carry it myself. Rhea, let us help you, weight reduction magic. Rhea looked towards Alan. She forced a smile, I am just bringing food and following the young master's orders. Why does your face look like that, young master? According to your instructions, I brought some food. Alan approached and interrogated, what kind of relationship do you two have? Rhea blushed and shouted, no. She immediately retorted, what are you talking about? How dare you say that to Diana's man? Rhea then clarified, Jack and I are close friends from the orphanage, that kind of thing is completely impossible, not even a millionth of a chance. She did not hesitate to point at Alan and affirmed, absolutely not. Then she turned to ask Jack, right Jack? His face was flushed as he looked at her. Rhea stared blankly at Jack like that. She affirmed, not even a millionth of a chance, absolutely not. Then she turned to look at him again, right Jack? Jack stood still, absent-minded and blushing. Rhea panicked and was confused. Why does Jack's face look so strange? Is he uncomfortable because he was misunderstood? She hurriedly asked, Jack, are you okay? The young master is just teasing you a bit. Alan immediately snatched the basket from Jack's hand. Hey Jack, give me the basket. Then he happily threw a bottle of water to him. Here, drink this. Alan challenged, then let us have another match. Jack frowned angrily, I won't hold back. Alan instructed her and then shot lightning at Jack. Rhea, you sit next to us, have a snack and wait. Rhea was confused. Yes, why is it suddenly like this? A moment later at the training ground, everyone has worked hard. I will go inside first. Jack tidied up his weapons and equipment neatly. Then he sighed in relief. Everything is done. Rhea called from behind, Jack, have you finished cleaning up? She complained angrily, the young master is really too much. He left everything and ran away. Jack was too used to it and did not bother to care, it can't be helped. Rhea reluctantly asked Jack, the young master always pushes these troublesome things like this, right? Suddenly, she noticed Jack intently. There is a wound on your face. Rhea got closer to Jack worriedly. Are you injured? When she was about to raise her hand to check him, let me see. Unexpectedly, Jack pushed Rhea's hand away directly. Rhea was stunned, he then called Rhea. Then he coldly interrogated, do you really like young Master Alan? Hearing that question, she was also shocked and stunned. Jack also added a long string of reasoning to Rhea. The limits of status are very different. Now the young master may be close to you, but she interrupted, wait. Rhea pointed at herself and said, you mean you are asking if I like the young master in a romantic way? She then had to helplessly explain, Jack, I actually do not tell anyone this, but I see the young master as more like a younger brother. He panicked, what, the young master is older than you? Rhea also revealed, so what? He still looks very childish. I heard the madam say that the young master still hugs dolls to sleep. Jack was startled and horrified. That is too much information. But then Jack clenched his fist. He immediately expressed, what about me then? Rhea was bewildered, you what? Jack immediately said, am I also like your younger brother? Rhea said softly, no. Then she smiled brightly, you are my friend. Jack was silent and stared intently at Rhea. He was happily blushing, that is a relief. Rhea thought to herself, Jack, do not tell me you are worried that I will be heartbroken because of the status barrier. That is probably something you will have to worry about more than me in the future. She always reminded herself, from the beginning, no one looked at me that way. Suddenly someone called loudly, Rhea. A maid rushed to announce, the young lady has returned. Quickly go to the madam's room. Rhea hurried, the young lady, that girl also kindly helped, I will finish cleaning up so you go quickly. She rushed off and only had time to instruct Jack, thank you, I will go first. Jack, remember to go to the infirmary too, he called after her regretfully, wait, Rhea. Ria gently opened the door and entered, returning so late. I do not know if the little girl made many friends. She slowly announced, Madam, I am here. The madam saw this and immediately gestured for silence and smiled kindly. Ria, you have arrived. She looked at Diana sleeping on the bed and could not help but think, she must be very tired. She fell asleep as soon as she got back. Ria and Alan stared adoringly. She is so cute, like a little angel. My sister is super cute. She turned around in surprise. Alan stammered, What is wrong with me praising my sister? Then the madam held out an envelope and said, Ria, actually, I called you because I have something to give you. Ria reached out to take it and was a little curious. Yes, what is this? It is a letter from Countess Marietta. She took it happily. Countess Marietta. The madam explained shyly, I am sorry I read it beforehand. The sender wrote my name because they probably thought you could not read. Quickly read it. Ria hurriedly tore open the envelope. Yes. She excitedly opened it slowly. A letter from Bianca. I thought she had forgotten me long ago. Ria held up the letter and read, Hello Ria, I do not know if you still remember me. She also asked caringly, I heard you are living well in the Duke of Ellard family. The scars on your body have also completely disappeared. I am really happy. I wish I could see it with my own eyes. The thing is, last time because I was too flustered, I did not tell you clearly how wonderful the Bellis Principality is. First of all, the Duke of Bellis, the ruler of the Principality, is the strongest mage on the continent right now. The young masters who are studying at the academy are so handsome that they make people open their hearts and eyes. And the sea view right at the foot of the city walls is. Ria was surprised as she read the letter. Countess Marietta is truly a loyal and fiercely patriotic person. Then she immediately hugged the letter and caressed it. But I am so touched. The handwriting is also beautiful. I have to cast a preservation spell in my room to keep it as a treasure. Suddenly Alan bluntly exposed. But when did you learn to read? I heard that the orphanage does not teach reading. He kept interrogating. Jack was also surprised to know that you could read. Ria had to force a smile and prevaricate. Yes, my older sister often came to the orphanage to teach me. The boys played outside so. The madam then called Ria. She approached and asked tentatively, Do you want to go to the principality? The madam gently asked Ria, Do you want to go to the principality? She hesitantly replied after reading the letter, I am really curious. The madam also sighed. The Bellis Principality is indeed a wonderful place. Ria noticed something. Is there something you want to tell me, madam? She then wondered, Have you ever been to the principality? She stammered, I have been there, but... Alan suddenly shouted, I have been there too, the Bellis Principality. Ria helplessly looked. You have also been there, young master, he recounted enthusiastically. That place is really great, both beautiful and fascinating. The madam was surprised. Alan, you only went once when you were very young. She exposed the truth. You were only 2 years old at that time. What can you remember? Stop bragging. Alan was embarrassed. What bragging? The madam then turned to express, I am sorry for keeping you here for so long, Ria. It is late. Go back and rest. Ria quickly stood up and left. Yes, madam, then I will take my leave first. She stared blankly at Ria's figure. The madam was silent for a long time. She worriedly thought, I do not know what answer that child will give. A few days after receiving Bianca's letter, Ria, thank you so much. Viscountess Bianca happily handed Ria a bag of something. Thanks to you, even the urgent matters have been resolved. This is what you asked me to prepare, she excitedly replied. Thank you, Countess. She also tentatively asked, but is this much enough? If you want more, you can ask for more, but Ria immediately refused. It is okay, I only need this much right now. After finishing the work, Ria hurried away. Viscountess Bianca waved goodbye. Okay, be careful. If you need anything, come find me. Ria brightly turned back. Yes, Countess, have a good day. After receiving the letter, I spent a few days helping Countess Bardo, whom I happened to meet. She had come to help her with matters related to herbs. Although the work was just simple sorting of herbs, as long as you could read, it was doable, being both quick and able to read. Ria, Countess Bardo, who was already exhausted from being overworked, was very grateful to me. And I also happened to add an unexpected piece of information. Ria was stunned when she heard the news. Still no Splecia plants have been grown. She wondered, even the sapling I found back then did not survive. Viscountess Bianca shook her head. That is right, actually it was a miracle that you found a little root growing. Just being able to grow one plant is enough to study its effects. Ria sighed sadly when she heard that, but the progress is really too slow. She slowly walked back. Even with the level of doctors and mages in the Duke's residence, this is all they can do, if we focus on the effectiveness of the medicine. Perhaps they do not know how to use it correctly. Ria complained incessantly. I still have not written a reply to Bianca, but the work is piling up, when hasty footsteps rushed towards her. Diana hugged Ria from behind and called sister. The little girl snuggled up. I missed you so much, she quickly instructed. Young lady, do not run, be careful not to trip. Diana held out her drawing to Ria excitedly. I want to give this to you, a gift. Seeing that, she could not help but be happy. Young lady, this is. Ria picked it up and asked, Princess, this is the princess in the fairy tale, right? Diana's scribbled drawing also made her happy. It is exactly like her. Rhea picked it up happily. The other maids were stunned and confused. That is a princess. She kept admiring the drawing. Thank you, young lady, you gave me this gift, Diana happily said, because you are my princess. Suddenly someone's voice rang out, our young lady is so generous. It was Sophie. She deliberately mocked at the salon. The little girl kept praising Rhea, saying she was very beautiful. She smiled falsely. The other noble young ladies were also curious to know who Rhea was. Rhea was surprised about this. She suddenly remembered, when I was asked about my impressions of the salon, Dana just smiled, so I could not guess. I did not expect I was mentioned there too. I am both proud and embarrassed. Sophie continued, but she ridiculed. Rhea is someone who everyone who looks at her has to admit is beautiful. People say she is the most beautiful person in the world. Everyone would look forward to it. Sophie deliberately made Rhea lose face. I am just worried that the other young ladies who come to visit the Duke's residence will be surprised. She emphasized, of course, only a little bit. Rhea could feel the words surrounding her. That is true, young lady, why? She clenched her hands and stammered, I. Rhea remembered the moment with Diana. I really cherish the words that Diana said, because they are the little girl's heartfelt words. She always told herself, but I have never been arrogant. I have never looked down on anyone because of their appearance. Rhea lowered her head resentfully. So why do I have to endure this humiliation? Diana was bewildered. Sister, what is wrong? What happened? Sophie pretended to be innocent. It is nothing, young lady. I am just admiring the young lady's tolerance and wisdom. Diana gritted her teeth and trembled. Dana is tolerant, that is right. The others took the opportunity to insult Rhea. Usually children the same age as the young lady like beautiful and gorgeous things, but the young lady values inner beauty more than outer appearance. As the maid by her side, I really feel very proud. Sophie was still smugly putting on a show. Indeed, the young lady of the Duke's residence. Suddenly she glanced over and was stunned. Diana, why are you standing there frozen? Alan approached them. He said coldly, she is mocking you. Alan told Diana that she meant that Rhea is not pretty at all, but she is still praised for being beautiful. The little girl was uncomfortable when she heard that. What? Then Diana pointed directly at Sophie and scolded. What do you know, you ugly thing? Sister Rhea is the most beautiful person in the world. She tried her best to defend herself. It is not like that, young lady, I absolutely did not mean that. Alan poked his finger at Sophie and interrogated, if not, then what is it? He threatened, how dare you ridicule the young lady's person? Alan said angrily with a stern face. And also a maid of the Duke's residence. The other maids had no choice but to remain silent and watch him scold her. Right in front of everyone like this. Sophie turned pale with fear. Young master, it is not like that. Alan immediately ordered, I do not want to hear excuses, butler. Yes, young master. He shouted loudly and ordered, don't let me see her face again.